Gallery nuts, welcome. Hey, daddies. That's right. Sound weirder when I say it or when Linda says it? Hey, daddies. That's how Nick should open all his documentaries. Somebody shared a meme today that said, apparently, if you lose half your IQ, you're just a Q. Follower. I don't even remember where I saw it. You're just Q. Had to take a shower, another shower today. I was fucking covered in black shit. I don't know if you guys saw the photo. What you think about Gallery nuts. When you're born into a fire. That's probably one of my favorite bot names. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. People keep trying to send me shit still to this day about like the Georgia election bullshit. So some counties in Georgia were reprimanded for not storing their ballots or the ballot images appropriately. I don't care. They still have the original ballots, and they've been gone through and gone through and gone through and gone through, and every time they count them, Joe Biden gets more. So I don't care about the ballot images because they held on to the original ballots. Jesus Christ. I don't care if they lose all the ballot images. Well, they have original ballots. Here we go.
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Well, oh no, we're stuck. Welcome, everybody. I'm Will Bird. This is Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. What's happening? What's up? Thank you for joining us. Yeah, like, okay, so the thing in Georgia is like, even the thing they're doing, they're saying, you know, there's no change in the election, there's no proof that anybody tampered with the election, cheated, blah, blah, blah. There's no proof of any of that. We're just reprimanding certain counties for not following the procedure correctly of the storage of the ballot images. And they're basically punishing these counties for not doing it right. But the original ballot still exists. So who cares? I mean, yeah, those counties should fix their process and blah, blah, blah. But the actual board that's reviewing it is like, okay, yeah, no one fucked with the election in Georgia, but these people just fucked up and we're going to fix it. Cool, fix it. But we still have it's not... When they send it to me, they're like, oh, my God, how come none of the ballots are present in Georgia? They are. All the ballots are there, every one of them. The ballot images weren't stored properly, and they're gone, right? They were lost. But we can make new ballot images by scanning the ballots, and the ballots are what they're counting when they do their tier 2 whatever review of the election. That's what they're counting, actual ballots. Jesus Christ. I don't know. We're at the end of a fucking term and people are still like, well, I don't know. Seem kind of crazy. I bet any day now they prove it. Yep. Bet any day now they prove it. And do what? We're all going to hop in a fucking time machine? Jesus fucking Christ. Anyways, thank you for joining us. What's up? I think we're going to try to watch a Phil video today. I don't know if we'll get all the comments. Mariah sent me like 1,000 fucking comments. I did find this video. This guy over here reminded me of Mariah. Here you go. Oh, you guys can't hear it, can you? Hold on. It's better with the sound. I promise.
I like that for you. I do. I like that for you. I think you got some real possibilities there. How'd you figure that out, by the way? You just jamming your fingers in some fruit one day and you just thought, let me just bite into a pineapple. Yeah, I think you can make some real money with them pineapple fingers. If you're not following me already,
the pineapple fingers.
I'd really fucking appreciate it if you did.
I don't know what this guy's doing. What is he doing? Why is he juicing a pineapple with his bare fingers?
Thank you for.
I understand she's making a funny video. What is this guy doing?
Thank you for.
I like that for you.
Jesus Christ.
I
Make a lot of money with those
I think you got
pineapple
some real
fingers.
possibilities there. How'd you figure that out, by the way? You just jamming your fingers in some fruit one day and you just thought, let me just bite into a pineapple. Yeah, I think you...
I also found more shit to disprove Derek Johnson. Let me see if I can read this first before we get started. So this is from the Arlington National Cemetery. the Arlington National Cemetery .mil blog post 12/8/70 Presidential Salute Battery honors dignitaries and events. So it says on December 19th, 2022, you know how they're always talking about the time? Like for some reason they think the time between the shots designates different things. So like if you have a 3 seconds between 21 shots, that's just to honor the president. And if you have 8 seconds or 9 seconds between it, that means the president's dead, right? Those people are fucking retarded. Oh God. Just fucking leave. Just fucking leave. Just fucking leave. You're not gonna last. They think that the time between the shots means something. It doesn't. And we're going to figure that out right here. So this is written by Kevin M. Heimel, who's an historian. So on December 19, 2022, the soldiers of the Presidential Salute Battery stood before their cannons awaiting the arrival of Ecuador's President Guillermo Lasso. The soldiers had set up 3 polished and gleaming 105 howitzers at Section 37 of Arlington National Cemetery, and their 2-man teams were ready to fire. Behind them stood 4 senior soldiers. So this is an area where the road's restricted, and they're going to only going to use 3 cannons here, or 3 artillery pieces, because the road's restricted. Now it doesn't matter that there's only 3 of them, like 2 firing and 1 backup. That has nothing to do with it. It's the number of shots. But this was just like when they had to move it for Joe Biden's inauguration because of COVID. Settle down, ordered the captain. Stand by. Then the signal came for the President Lasso's caravan. The captain, who had been standing with his right arm out, curled his fingers into a fist. The gunner at the first cannon pulled the lanyard. Boom. 9 seconds later, again, 9 seconds later. I don't care if you follow Phil. You're just retarded. 9 seconds later, an NCO standing near the captain pointed at the second gun and called out, "Top." And the second gun fired. Then he pointed at the first cannon, waited 9 seconds, and the first cannon fired again. The process continued with each cannon firing and emptying shells clinking onto the street. Empty shells clinking on the street until they fired a combination of 21 shots. The last shot rang out just as the motorcade arrived at the tomb of the unknown soldier. First of all, a ballot that gets scanned twice is automatically flagged and removed. It doesn't matter if I scan it 1,000,000 fucking times. It counts as 1 vote. And if you think that we haven't figured that out yet with computer, it counts as 1. It doesn't matter if I scan the whole ballot, my whole shift for 9 goddamn hours. It counts as 1 vote. The gunners at the third cannon, again the third cannon, the backup known as Thrape, stood quietly ready to take over if one of the other 2 cannons malfunctioned, while the NCO shouted out WAP, which is short for gun 1, and TOP, which is short for gun 2. Another soldier stood by the captain holding a chart and 1 through 21 on it. He pointed at each number as the gunners fired so the captain could keep account. Even though the battery fired off 21 shots, the mission was not over. They would repeat the process when the president left the cemetery. Such is the work of the 3rd U.S. Infantry Regiment's Old Guard 1st Battalion's Presidential Salute Battery, which fires its cannons at presidential inaugurations, foreign dignitary visits. Oh, thank you for gifted subs. I appreciate it. I don't know why the thing didn't go off, but thank you. Foreign dignitary visits, funerals for high-ranking officers, and events such as the 4th of July and the Army 10-miler race. For a visit from a dignitary such as President Lasso, a communications representative in the lead vehicle radios Captain Nathan Lundquist, the battery officer in charge, as the vehicle passes by the McClellan Gate. Okay? So when these are fired, someone calls the captain on a radio when they pass by the McClellan Gate. That starts the firing sequence. Now listen to this quote. This quote is from the captain in charge of this fire team for the Old Guard that does the 21 salutes. This is his exact quote. "We found through trial and error that 9 seconds is the interval spacing that gets the last round fired as they get to the tomb of the unknown soldier." Okay? Now, typically, 3 seconds is like the fast firing, and that is just it's I wouldn't say it's there's no written rule with how many seconds between each firing, okay? That's just accepted as that's their fast fire rule. But whenever they're doing it at Arlington National Cemetery and someone's coming to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, remember right after this that they cut to Joe Biden at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, placing he didn't get to place the wreath. The guy's hat blew off and it was windy or whatever. Remember when that happened? He was going to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier when they were firing there. He was in transit while they were firing the 21-gun salute. So why would they use 9-second intervals? Because they figured out that when Joe Biden passes the McClellan Gate, if they use 9-second intervals to fire, the last shot's fired when he pulls up at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. That's why they do 9-second intervals when they fire at Arlington. Now, Derek Johnson shows the quote from Arlington National Cemetery that says the 21-gun salute is not to be confused with the 3-rifle volley, right? Or 3-rifle salute, the 3-volley salute or the 3-rifle volley. But those are two different things. That has nothing to do with the artillery pieces. The 9 seconds that they get is literally because they're doing it at Arlington, and it is the time it takes to pass the McClellan Gate, which is when they start firing, until whoever arrives at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. So I had been wondering about the 9-second interval. There's some reason they didn't just. I know 3-second is like wrapped up in like a bunch of history, and a lot of people fire every 3 seconds. Okay, and for years they had done that, depending on where they're at, and for parades and stuff. I've actually heard it at bases where I was at. I was curious why they picked the 9 seconds, and literally they just did it through trial and error. So through trial and error, they found out that if they're at Arlington and they're firing before the president or whoever arrives at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, if they fire in 9-second intervals, that sets them up to be at the tomb by the time when they leave McClellan to the time they get to the tomb. The McClellan Gate, past the McClellan Gate. So someone radioed from the car and tells them, hey, we're past the McClellan Gate. That's when they start firing. And that's the 9-second interval. There's nothing written. Like, Derek Johnson would have you believe that if they have only 3 cannons, he calls them cannons, if they have only 3 artillery pieces and they fire 9 seconds, every 9 seconds, that's a funeral. But if they have 4 and they fire every 3 seconds, well, that's a salute to the president. None of that's true. There is no second interval written down anywhere as a rule, and they don't do these. They don't do these. They do these at the president's funeral, but you wouldn't notice a difference, right? You wouldn't notice any difference whatsoever. If the president died or the president inaugurated, it's the same firing of the 21-gun salute. It's not the 3-rifle volley, which he gets it confused with all the fucking time, but you wouldn't notice a difference at all. And to say that there is a difference or that this is a funeral or that he was given by military law and regulations, he was given a funeral. Anyways, it goes on to say, surprisingly, none of the gunners are trained artillerymen from the U.S. Army's Field Artillery School at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. They're actually mortarmen because this is an infantry battalion, said First Lieutenant Nicholas Lamy. There are no artillerymen. Instead, they are trained on ceremonial procedures at Fort Myer and drill both there and at the cemetery. The maintenance and performance training is intense. According to section leader, Staff Sergeant Colin Cooper, the soldiers learn how to pull everything apart. He explained everything is clean and shine before it goes on a mission. Once the men learn loading procedures on the primary cannons, they learn it on the backup cannon, which is always present in case the primary cannon fails. We don't mess around, said Cooper. When the men finish training on the backup, they learn how to be gunners. First on the primaries and then on the backup. Our backup gunner is typically the best gunner in the platoon, he said. He'll be there to guarantee that everything goes smoothly and there are no hiccups. So that's interesting, I thought, that the best gunner is the backup gunner. The soldiers take acute care of their weapons. They hand sand all the stainless steel pieces to shine like chrome, using everything from 80 grit all the way to 3,000 grit sandpaper. The cannon block itself requires 8 hours of manual sanding. To the point being to make these as shiny and pristine as possible when they come out here. And these are the parts of their hand sanding, like the chamber, you don't even see it. It's the inside of the gun. It's the mechanism of the gun. Lamy agreed. I'd never seen 3,000 grit sandpaper in my life, and I show up on my first day, and they're laser focused on one singular piece that you can't even see because it's on the cannon's inner workings. Lamy then listed the unit's two major functions. One, make sure it shines, and two, do not have a misfire. The battery operates 10 cannons in all. There are 105 millimeter howitzer cannons that saw service in World War II and have been sized down to take a 75 millimeter blank. So they're actually 105 millimeter howitzers, but they take 75 millimeter blanks because they've got a plug in them. Cooper said the blank rounds look like a candle inside the shell casing. Yeah, they're just a wax seal to make a boom, holding in the gunpowder and filament. The cannons themselves were used in North Africa and Europe, and even one knocked out a German tank. That's cool. The officers and NCOs take a great deal of pride in their men and their ceremonial weapons. Things are down to the second here, said Lamy. The men's level of proficiency between maintenance and the amount of care the guys put into doing their job is impressive. Staff Sergeant Cooper proudly pointed to the three howitzers in Section 37 and said, these are by far the nicest 105s you'll find in the Army. It was no boast. It's simply part of the mission for the Presidential Salute Battery. So again, when they fired from, I don't know if this is the same area that they were firing in during Joe Biden's inauguration. If this is somewhere they routinely fire from, or if it was moved because of everything was weird because of COVID. Like they had a traditional area was blocked off and nobody was there. They had one of their firing locations. They had people gathering in because another area was blocked off. Everything was weird about it because of COVID. But to say that it was a funeral is just, it's insane. And he's got to know he's quoting this shit wrong. Like even when he goes to, if you type in Arlington, 21 gun salute, 3 volley. This is what he loves to read down at the bottom of the page. It says the 21 gun salute is not to be confused with a 3 volley salute or 3 rifle volley rendered at military honors funerals, which you might see or hear at Arlington National Cemetery. So it's just telling you that one is on artillery, the guns, the cannons, whatever you want to call them, and the other one is shoulder-fired rifles. Right? And the president gets it when he's inaugurated and when he dies, but those are both done. Those are 21 gun salutes that's just done with artillery. He'll also get a 3 volley salute or 3 rifle volley done with rifles as well to signify his funeral. But the 21 gun salute won't be different. It'll be the same the whole time. Anyways, let's go check out a Phil video. You want to? Apparently, he's got some people upset. I don't know. Haven't looked into it. I've just read some comments. We'll check out his latest one, I guess, and then we'll go from there. If only he would have challenged the results. Exactly. He challenged and challenged and challenged and challenged and challenged and challenged and challenged, and is still trying to make people believe that it has something to do with it. I did see a really fucking weird post from Phil that someone had highlighted on Twitter. Let me see if I can find that. Oh, did Phil make a post and delete it? Someone just asked me. I've been fucking under a welding hood all day. Did you guys see my picture? I was covered in fucking tar and shit. I was covered in carbon and shit. So I'm welding in fire pits, and obviously they're not new fire pits. They've been used. So I try to get them as clean as I can with like flipping them over and using like a manual wire brush. But Jesus, once you hit that shit with a grinder, it goes fucking everywhere. I was blowing my nose today in the shower because I could feel like fucking dirt and shit in it. I was blowing my nose in the shower and it's just coming out like solid black. It was disgusting. The death roll in the dollar continues. Anyone starting to see why Mike Johnson's speaker is allowing this to happen? And no one knows why. Well, if you watched last night's stream, now you know how the Federal Reserve works and monopoly. The Great Awakening continues. Next live tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. I decided to go a little later so that Mother's Day activities had a chance to wind down. Happy Mother's Day to all. testimony. Nick Alvear was under contract for J6. You guys make my day quite often. It gives me the strength to work hard despite the pain, and I'm going all in. This is coming today. I think that's from Alessandro. So not so surprising news coming from Total Disclosure. I'll share Alessandro's new intel once it's made available. Phil's X patches, open enrollment. If you guys need an X patch, they couldn't save Doug. That don't mean they won't save you. Okay, they couldn't save Doug. That don't mean it won't save you. By the way, if you want to, if you're interested in supporting the show, please go to coldbeer.fund, 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 where you can make a contribution to help the show keep going. Wow, just wow, a must read. You see why Alvear flipped and started spreading disgusting lies. It was all part of the plan, their plan. I'm in a defamation case. Discovery phase has very, very wide scope. I can't wait to see all the information on my case against Alvear brings out. We'll be sure to share it with everyone here. So the post that I saw of Phil, so why the massive effort to withhold the true location of Mount Sinai? These guys nailed it. He did a Q&A. The post I saw from Phil was like, I'm going to give you information. You're just going to sit there and listen, okay? Like, it was so weird. Please hit the thumbs up button on the video if you haven't already. My husband and I both have chronic health problems. That's from Patches. I'm not reading patch reviews. Must see. Earth's magnetic pole shift explained. Posted 2 videos above. That's a forward. That's a forward. And then he did this again. So I don't know what he posted. Does anybody know? Do we have what he posted and then I guess deleted? I don't know what it was, to be honest with you. But we'll watch the most recent video. Let's grab it.
Do this every morning to clear stuck mucus from lungs and breathe easy all day long. Short or weak breathing is easy to blame on lungs, but that's not the whole story. The lungs are part of the solution, not the root cause.
If you have sciatic nerve pain, do not drink cold water. Do you know what the #1 vitamin at Walmart is for sciatic nerve pain?
I don't think it's a valid reason to say my relative counts ballots. All they can do is verify what they fucking did. Like, are you telling me your relative inspected everybody else's count? Is that the claim? Let me skip ahead. We get rid of this fucking music. This is Q&A post. Or Q&A video. Let's see what it is. I guess he told them that the revaluation isn't coming, and they were very upset about that. I'm going to mute it for you guys so I don't get copyright. Okay, there it goes. As soon as he ends the music, I'll turn the audio back on. He's going to dance for a while, I guess. What the fuck was that signal? Oh my God, he's still just listening to music. Come on. Jesus Christ. We get it, Phil. Oh, is it? What's he acting now? What the fuck was that? Is that supposed to be Nick, the line, I guess? We get it. Music, Phil. Let's go. All right, music stopped.
That thing happened that thing happened in my throat. So I got a cough drop in there, so you can hear some stuff going wrong with my teeth. So just kind of ignore that. Welcome everybody to Sunday night's Q&A.
Is his chiclet teeth coming loose?
Yeah, I kind of missed the Q&A after the last live because I talked too much about the Mississippi bubble. Hopefully you guys learned something about the Mississippi bubble, and if you didn't, hopefully you could go back and rewatch the last live stream. The title of it was The Start of the Sarah, and the content of it was primarily on the early 1700s happenings of the French financial issue. So really, really good live to watch, very educational, some fun too. I believe a lot of people said I was funny. I didn't say that. That's not what I said. I'm saying that a lot of people said it. And these people that said it, they don't even know each other. They don't, like, not in real life. So all of these independent people said that I was funny without even like conspiring to do it. Just happened. So I'm not saying it. I'm saying what they said. Big difference. You know?
He's basically hilarious.
I don't know if you guys have known my cowardly lion. He's right there. He sits right next to the captain sign. I think it's fitting. So he made an appearance tonight. Round of applause for Mr. Cowardly Lion, Nick Alvear. He's got silent lately, huh? That's good. Lots of stuff is starting to come out of him, Mr. Alvear. I don't know if you guys have seen Alessandro in Total Disclosure's recent research earlier this morning.
So from what I saw from Alessandro was that someone that knows Nick Alvear and was talking to him at the time repeatedly said that Nick repeatedly said was very adamant that he was under contract.
They had what akin to a whistleblower come to Alessandro and Alessandro's platform, Total Disclosure, and tell all sorts of behind-the-scenes, little-known information about Nick Alvear. And the major accusation is that Nick Alvear had told this person that he was actually hired for January 6th, 2021. That would make Nick Alvear a paid operative. That would also make sense why Nick Alvear got such little jail time from his conviction.
It is weird that he's like one of the only people that's out of jail.
January 6th. It would also make a lot of sense as to why Nick Alvear went after me so hard with untrue bullshit, falsities about me. And pretty interesting.
Everybody knows I'm paid by the CIA, but Nick Alvear, who knows?
So anyway, speaking of the Cowardly Lion, there he is. Round of applause. All right, let's move on. So we're going to do a straight Q&A tonight. I'm going to try to limit the topics of...
Yeah, let me see if I can find that post while he's talking shit.
So I'm going to give you a list of topics that I will answer from. I don't want this to be all over the map like an AMA. Don't ask me anything. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of topics on that I'm going to take questions on. And of course, I control which questions I read. So if I see a good question, maybe I'll answer it anyway. But yeah, we're going to do that. First time, where are you from? Conway, Arkansas. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Nick Alvear is slimy. Oh, well, I just read that one right there.
Here it is. This is a post he made. He said there would be no particular topic tonight. You will listen to me speak. No Q&A, no hot intel. You will just listen. You will want to hear what I have to say. But I don't know when that's from. Oh, that's from 2023. That's why they reposted it. I don't know what he deleted today then.
Tullahoma, Tennessee. It's pretty cool. Fluster, what was that one? Oh, Plumsteadville, Pennsylvania. Wow, that's way out west. It's got to be because I don't know that name. Hollywood, Maryland. Wheat Ridge, Colorado. Lil Sassy, Goldsboro, North Carolina. Rogers, Ohio. Finley, Ohio. Kingwood, Texas, LFG. Scottsville, Michigan. Topeka, Kansas. Taunton, Massachusetts. Klamath Falls, Oregon. There's a Klamath Beach that I go to in Northern California, probably pretty close. Common, Colorado. Scottsdale, Arizona. Overlook, Kansas. Bellingham, Washington. Oostin, Belgium. Cool. Way across the pond, huh? Guntown, Pennsylvania. Pataskala, Ohio. New Orleans. Merritt Island. Detroit, Michigan. Las Vegas. Queen Creek, Arizona. Pax River, Maryland. Marshall, Minnesota. Baja, California. Mechanicsville, Iowa. Merritt Island. Eureka, California. I have a home near there. And let's get one more good one. Oh, this guy wrote it like 100 times, so I'm going to have to say it. Swanton, Ohio. Swanton, Ohio. Thank you for everybody. Thank you everybody for tuning in. As most of you know, my name is Phil Godleski. A lot of people say that I'm very funny. A lot of people say I'm very handsome. A lot of people call me a goat. I don't know why. A goat is an animal with fur and is very articulate. I'm none of those things. So, well, I guess I'm an animal. But I don't think they actually mean the animal version of the goat. I think they mean like, you know. Right. Anyway, that wasn't part of me being funny, nor did I think that was funny at all. So if we could just pretend that didn't happen, that'd be great. Anyway, tonight we're going to do a straight Q&A. I'm going to try to...
You're struggling, bro.
Before we do that, I want to make a couple comments that... to correct what I've been seeing on my Telegram chat rooms. As you guys all know, I relaunched my X-Patches system. And before I go any further on that, X-Patches is LifeWave. We call it X-Patches because I wanted to brand it to myself. So when you hear X-Patches, what you're actually hearing is Phil's LifeWave downline. Okay? I just didn't want to call it Phil's LifeWave downline. So we came up with a word. It's X-Patches. There's no such thing as an X-Patch. There's an X39, an X49. Company's name is LifeWave. Regardless, similar to how I call Phil Silver PSI, which enrolls you in the 7K, X-Patches enrolls you into LifeWave. Okay? So when you sign up for one, you're not missing out on the other. A lot of people think that that's the case because
I was already confused.
Live, you think that you're not going into LifeWave. You are. It's just what our platform is called. Okay, that's number one. Number two, many of you know that on Friday night I relaunched enrollment into my X-Patches system, which enrolls you for LifeWave. I've been making comments over the last couple days. Hey, if you're interested in this, and this is something you want to do for all the reasons we talked about in the last couple lives, now's the time to do it. I've been saying that you want to get in on the ground floor. Right? This is the only sponsor for tonight, so just hold your horses. The ground floor means this to me. Let me tell you what I think it means when I say it. I am about to expend a lot of money into advertising for MLMs. I purchased a couple domain names regarding masterclass MLMs. I'm going to be doing a whole thing about how to teach people to get involved in MLM and be prepared for the next big thing, the next employment phase for citizens.
The best.
For that, I'm going to be spending a lot of money on advertising and branding my platform. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get all of you enrolled into this system and into my downline before the flood of the public comes. Because when I start doing paid advertising, SEO, social media marketing outside of Telegram, paid social media marketing, geofencing, billboard campaigns if I choose to do them, and whatever else I choose to do, we're going to have a lot of leads coming in from the general public who don't watch me on my show. They're not followers of me, but they see my advertising and they're going to sign up anyway. I'm going to build this thing enormously big. The reason why I want you to sign up on the ground level is in a downline structure for an MLM, you'll be here. I'll be up here, of course. You'll be here, but all of those rest of the leads that I plan on marketing to, they're going to be below you. And that means no commission for you. That's what I mean.
That's how you make tons of money. Remember, he told you everybody will put people below you. You don't have to do anything. except and that never happened. Then it was like, you're not working hard enough.
By getting in on the ground floor, you are circumventing the massive amount of hundreds of thousands of people that are going to come after you. That they will be used to help build your downline. So you're not the low man on the totem pole. That's a common thing with an MLM. Oh, only the people at the top make money. Well, I'm giving you an opportunity to be at the top. Not at the tippy top. That's my domain. I live at the tippy top. Don't go near the tippy top. You can never get there even if you wanted to. But you just be just below that a little bit. And then let me let my marketing and my ability to market. By the way, that's what I've done for 17 years in real estate. I marketed and branded, and I built an empire doing it. So when I start to do that and the flood comes in, you're going to be properly positioned. Okay? xpatches.phil.lesky.live. In fact, let me put that in the description of the video real quick, because I just realized I didn't.
Oh, yeah. Get that in the description immediately. We're going to need that in the description.
Okay. The link should now be below the video, in the description of the video. Shit. I didn't hyperlink it. Hold on. Right after this, we're going to hop right into the Q&A.
Oh, my God. Mr. Edward Snowden, folks.
There we go. Hyperlinks in the description of the video down below on Rumble. It's not going to be on any others yet, but I'll get to that after the live tonight. So now's your chance. We got appointments set up for this week. If you don't see any available appointments on your calendar when you go to sign up, wait until tomorrow, because then the following day of the next week opens up. And my main advertising probably isn't going to start until June anyway, so you got a little bit of time here. But yeah, get signed up for this. I really am hoping for as many of my following to sign up as possible. And the more that does sign up, the more people I can help. All I got to do is trust me, believe me, and let me go to work for you. Okay. So we're going to do a Q&A tonight. I'm going to limit the content of the Q&A to things that we spoke about in my live streams just this past week. I don't want to get off into some big tangent of information and have everybody's minds go all over the place. So let's try to keep it on things that we spoke about recently in this last week, which was the new employment structure, the Sarah Jacera, Mississippi bubble.
Yeah, he used to scream it was a buyer's club. It's not an MLM. It's a buyer's club.
I think those are lives that I did, right? So if there's anything that roundaboutly relates to those things, I'll answer those questions as well. So the rules are kind of lax here a little bit. I mean, I am going to use discretion in which questions I read, of course, like I always do. So I'll read some that are outside of that. So you do not see the link. You'll have to reload the Rumble stream, because I made an update, so now you have to reload in order for it to show up. Okay. By the way, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. I just got back from dinner with my mom. It was great. Love spending time with my mom, especially on Mother's Day and holidays like this. She's a great mom. I didn't talk to her for a couple years.
Oh, yeah. I think his mom made a post. Where did that go? I just had that open. Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? There's people sharing it on Twitter right now. I fell down a rabbit hole looking trying to figure out how genetically corn became a thing. It started from another plant. They got it like laid out. Oh, here it is. Open image in a new tab. Carrie Godlewski says, love you, Marie Osmolia Holland. And then Phil's mom says, my baby boy. My baby boy. Your mom loves you more than anything in this entire world. I hope you will never forget that in your lifetime. You will always come first before anyone. And I mean anyone. I love you, my boy. She must need some new fillers, or maybe a new car. I don't know what. A new house. Who knows? She needs something.
Years because of circumstances outside of my control that we have made up, and I encourage you all to do the same thing for your moms, because no matter what you do, you'll only ever have one mother. And if she's still alive, there's no reason why.
No, not even maize. It come from this thing called teosinte, Teosinte. Hold on, I'll show you the evolution of corn. I don't know how we get sidetracked like this. Don't ask me. It's not important. What is important is that I show you the evolution of corn. So I guess this is how it started, which was just like a wild grass plant. And then that became this, and then this became like maize. So there you go. The evolution of corn.
You should keep her out of your life, in my opinion. It took me a while to realize that, and I think me and my mom are in a better position now than we ever have been. I love you, Mom. Thank you for putting me here, and thank you for everything you do for me and my boys. So, all right, let's get into Q&A.
There we go. Let's get into it.
Are 7K members still not allowed on the Xpatches system? No, 7K members are allowed on my Xpatches system. When I first launched this 9 months ago, they were not. And that's why I haven't talked about it for many months, because all my 7K people were getting pissed. So I just kind of put LifeWave and the Xpatches system away, and I said, oh, I'm just not going to promote it then. I'll tell you what I want. And then I had all restrictions lifted on the dual membership. So you could be in 7K and you could be in LifeWave simultaneously. So any 7K member that didn't apply because of that can now apply. The link is down below in the description.
Let me give you a free piece of advice here. if you're gay, I don't care. I don't care at all. Okay? I don't care if you're gay. I hope you enjoy it. More power to you. I hope you have lots of fun gay stuff you do. If you want to represent that community in a good way, don't get busted with a minor. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay? Jesus Christ. The worst thing that you could do is get busted with a fucking minor. There's a whole group of people that think every one of you all are pedos anyways. Fucking stop. The fuck is going on?
Pascal Nahadi, is he USSF? Is his info valid? No idea what you're talking about. No idea who that is. And there's a lot of questions about this. People asking about a credible source. People asking about USSF. I have no idea who Pascal is. Not gonna work here anymore. I don't know who that is. Another Office Space reference, in case you guys didn't know. Lifeway question: if we were already signed up under you in Lifeway, were we already in the binary? Yes, if you already signed up and you signed up originally, you're in good shape. You just got a super head start for in front of the others. But yeah, you're good. All these Pascal questions. I have no idea what you're talking about. So that could mean a couple things on Pascal, whoever this mystery man is, or woman, because you don't want to be sexist, especially on Mother's Day. That could just mean that I haven't heard of him, or that could mean that because I haven't heard of him, it's insignificant, or that could mean that surprise, Phil doesn't know about him, but here he is. I don't know if that's true, but I don't know. He's nobody that I know that's involved in anything that I'm involved in. I can say that with 100% certainty. And I think if you ask him, he'd probably say that too, because if a possibility that this person came in and is not relevant in some way, shape, or form, and I don't know about it, but I got my hand on the pulse of this thing. So there's not much that I don't.
Got my hand on the pulse of this thing. It's basically going to pop off every week for the last 4 years. And you can tell the pulse has been racing since November of 2020.
Know about right now, especially recently talking about Sarah and employment changes and the crash of the dollar and everything that I've been talking about in the last week. I've been tuned into my.
Why so fast? Because it's an hour and a half long video, and I don't want to take an hour and a half to watch it. Sorry.
Of course, I've been dialed right in. So if something happened outside of my knowing, I'd be really, really shocked about that. So he's Swiss? I don't know.
People from Canada don't have opinions. Well, they do. They're just not relevant.
Sounds Swiss, Pascal. Something. Ex-Illuminati? That's not a thing. Are you saying that Pascal's ex-Illuminati? You don't become ex-Illuminati. You don't leave. They'll kill you before that happens. There's no, you're not in. They'll be like, you know what, guys, I retired. I'm out. No, that's not a thing. So you die. I can name a lot of people that happened to. So that's not a thing for sure. Whether I know him or don't know him, not a thing. Do you really think Cabal lived for hundreds of years? I don't know that to be true. I don't know. I kind of speculated on that the last couple lives that we've had. And here's the premise of what I did. In my last live, Friday night, I said that I explained what the Mississippi bubble was. And the key person in the Mississippi bubble, which was the financial manipulation of stock and the financial system of the French in the 1700s, the key individual that was involved in that was a gentleman by the name of John Law. And John Law basically came in and got the banking rights from the French government to create a central bank. And he did that. Then he bought a stock market, which at the time wasn't called stock market. It was called Mississippi Company. But basically what it was, in the early 1700s, this new continent was available out west, North America. And the Mississippi Company was selling a way to get over to the North America.
John Law and the Mississippi bubble is actually a real thing. So in the early 18th century, France was going through a depression. They were over their heads in debt, like very, very, very badly in debt. The taxes were extremely high, and the France controlled the colony of Louisiana in the Americas, and it included the Natchez district, the Mississippi Gulf Coast area, that's present day Mississippi, and they were France was was the first European country to settle that area, so they had claim to it. The economy in France, where it was so depressed and they needed money so badly, and the taxes were so high, and they were on the verge of a revolt. It was like a rife or a good area to throw in like ideas, right? And John Law came up with some ideas for that area. So he was I think he was from Scotland. But if you read about John Law, he had some pretty crazy, like he's very eccentric, very vain about his appearance. He was kind of a weird guy. So he went to France, and he was good friends with was it the nephew or the cousin or somebody of King Louis, whatever the one was at that time, the 14th. I don't know. One of the King Louis. But he was good friends with a nephew or cousin or step nephew, something. So he had like an ear to whisper in, right, about these ideas. The guy that he was friends with, when King Louis died, his son was supposed to take the throne. And the nephew that John Law knew, I don't know if I remember this right, the nephew that John Law knew was basically a regent to the 5-year-old king. So at one time, there's a 5-year-old king. Obviously, he can't make decisions. The nephew that John Law is good buddies with is the regent. He's making the decisions for the 5-year-old king. And so because of that, they used John Law and his advice and assistance to try to straighten out the financial mess in France. And that kind of led him to like notoriety where people thought of him as like the go-to guy with like money, finance, economy, and all that shit, right? I think the guy was like was he the Duke of Orleans? And that's how New Orleans came? I don't know. Anyways, the guy was the nephew or cousin or something of the original king. That king dies, his son, so he's regent. Anyways, and later, John Law convinces the French government to let him open up a bank. And it's called the Banque Générale. The Banque Générale. And it could issue out its own paper money and banknotes. The paper notes were supposed to be supported by the bank's gold and silver. And it was a medium of exchange. So, right, you didn't have to carry around heavy gold and silver. You didn't have to worry about it, people chipping pieces off of it or fake gold and silver, whatever. They had this paper money. And this was kind of a new concept, paper money. Back at the French people, they were all using gold and silver. So paper money was a new thing, and he basically pioneered this, at least in that area. There were other areas that were doing the exact same thing at the same time, but when we're talking about Mississippi, the French colony around Louisiana and Mississippi, he was the first guy to do that there. His idea was to increase the money in circulation, and that would lead to increased commerce. So give people more money, they'll spend more money, right? He did something called the Company of the West. And when he made the Company of the West, he basically controlled the government, the French government's interest in trade between France, Louisiana, and Canada. So he was like the middleman. Again, he's just building power, wealth, and influence. The French were trading with their colonies and with the Canadian colonies. They were trading like this was like the French were trading like fucking beaver pelts and shit in for gold in Louisiana into precious metal. Law's company, John Law's company, had exclusive trading rights in this territory. He's the only person that could trade in or out of this territory for like the 30 years, 25 years. I don't know, for a long time. He and his company could appoint its own governor, its own officers, make land grants to people who wanted to develop land or build businesses or what. He was in charge of everything. And it wasn't like he was ever elected. He was just running a bank and a business, right? It wasn't like he was ever elected. Nobody fucking voted for him. He was just doing this. The reason they gave him the rights to do all this, to make a governor, to make directors, to issue land rights, is because they also put him in charge of moving their people back and forth. So they told him that if he moved like 10,000 people, like, I don't know, 2/3 of them were like settlers and 1/3 of them were like slaves, that he would have those rights to do all this. Now, he does start the Mississippi Company, but he kind of comes up with a scheme to finance it. When he goes to finance the Mississippi Company, which is going to be another all-encompassing company of a section of territory, he would sell shares in his company for cash. And we do that now. But not only was it shares in his company for cash, it was also state bonds. They were using state bonds as currency in his company. So he accepted a super low interest rate on the bonds, which helped with France because France was issuing these bonds, right? So it helped France get rid of these bonds while promising that the company would have a cash flow to support everything that he was selling and buying and the money that he was raising. So basically, he came up with a way to finance a gigantic business, and it was all a scheme because he wasn't going to be able to provide this cash flow that was going to be going through there. But the reason so many people invested is because this is where their precious metals are coming from. Remember when I said that France was trading like beaver furs and shit from the colonies in Canada to get like gold and silver? Everybody wanted gold and silver from the Mississippi, Louisiana area. So because he promised this gold and silver returns, he had tons of investors, but he was never going to be able to support the cash flow. Like he probably like 10 times what he could fucking finance was brought in, probably even more than that, than what he could cash flow was brought in. So it was just upside down. He was getting investments in a company that he would never be able to make returns on. Now he did create some cash flow, but he wasn't planning on stopping at the Mississippi company. It was almost like he was building a Ponzi scheme of businesses. So like he built the Mississippi company, then he had plans to build a bigger company that encompasses that company and a bigger company that encompasses that company. And each set of investor returns, he was paying back the previous company's investor returns. The same way that a Ponzi scheme works, where like you take round one and you pay off, or you tell round one you're going to invest, you take round two, use round two to pay off round one, that kind of deal. He had a bunch of stuff going his way. He had some type of monopoly on tobacco. The French government come in and took over his bank, the Banque Generale at one point, but he was allowed to remain in charge of it. So he basically had endless amount of money because he was now able to issue these banknotes, and no one was really checking on him, even though the French government kind of rubber stamped it. I can't remember what he named. He had a whole name for all of his businesses combined, and I can't remember what it was called. But anyways, everybody still called it the Mississippi Company, even though it wasn't technically the Mississippi Company. He basically made the world's first conglomerate. So you know how like Pepsi owns, no one cares. Oh my God, go somewhere else and whine. You know how Pepsi owns like Frito-Lay's and all these other different beverage companies and all these other weird companies? He created the first conglomerate. But it was all built very shakily with a lot of investment money that he was never going to be able to pay back. So anytime his shares would rise in value, he would get this cash flow coming in. He would use that to expand and expand and expand. He got too big. Then it was a bubble. That's why it's called the Mississippi bubble. It got bigger than what he was ever going to do, and eventually it had to pop. And when it finally popped, it fucked up the French government. It fucked up all of his investors. It fucked up everything. He devalued his shares several times. He did a lot of shady shit. You can go read about him. He's kind of a crazy. Even though like economists nowadays are kind of like divided on how to talk about his schemes. It definitely, some people say his intentions were legitimate and he thought he could make this work. Other people are like, oh, he was just trying to make a ton of money and thought it would never end. You just have to go read about it. It's John Law and the Mississippi Company, or the Mississippi Bubble. But it popped, and the fluctuation in prices were basically like people were waking up being millionaires, and by the end of the day would owe him money. Like it was insane. It's a pretty good read if you ever look into it. John Law and the Mississippi Bubble. It was in like the early 1700s, I guess. Yeah, the early 1710 to like 1720 or something.
The American continent, Louisiana Territory. He called it the Mississippi.
It's pretty incredible.
Stock in that. Well, people, when they tried to redeem their stock, they weren't allowed to. And then
By the way, it wasn't a stock exchange. It was just a business selling stocks.
the price of the stock plummeted. The paper money that he gave out, instead of taking gold deposits and giving back gold deposits at his bank, he took gold deposits, gave paper deposits. Basically, what he did in the early 1700s is exactly what the Federal Reserve did in the United States in the early 1900s. So what we said was, geez, is it the same person?
Oh, he also had, at one time, he talked the French government into letting him collect the taxes. So he got, not only did he get to collect the taxes, he was deciding what you owed on taxes. And was he sending it all to the French government? Probably not.
Is John Law not dead? And then we went back and we looked at the age of the people in the Bible, from Adam to Seth to Noah to Methuselah. And we started realizing that they lived a long time. Plus, of course, in the Bible, the word year was not a year. Come on. It was a year. So these people lived to 800, 900 years old. Methuselah, famously the oldest person in the Bible, 969 years old. Why did they live so long and we no longer do?
He had so much. It was almost like, you know how like NFTs and crypto were crazy for a while? John Law's shit was like that. I read a book one time that said that the French district, like the investment district in Paris, that they would have to send troops in there at night and like soldiers to maintain order because people would start camping in there to try to invest in his shit, thinking they were going to be fucking millionaires and shit. Yeah, it was fucking crazy. There was so much hype about this, but it was all a big scheme that had to pop eventually. People don't know if he knew it was going to pop. I think he did.
Doc came along and sometimes said, well, I don't want them to live any longer. No. So what I think happened was there's a very select, I don't know if I want to say what I think happened. I would like to look into it a little bit more. But I think during the last reset, I think people knew of the secrets to living an extraordinarily long time. A lot of people have asked, well, is it from adrenochrome? Is that what's keeping them alive longer? Maybe.
They're kind of still a thing. People still do them, but so many people are skeptical of them now that there's not much you can't get normal people to buy them. They've just labeled it all a scam. NFTs are not all a scam. There are NFT scams, but basically you have digital rights to a set of code that represents a picture that no one else has rights to, basically, when you're buying it. It would be the same as like buying a car with a VIN number and no one else can have that exact car. But there are scams associated with it and people that pump and dump and make it like it's going to be a ton of money. There's people that attach it to games or post or YouTube channels that never deliver. Yeah, it's just crazy. When people tried to sell John Law's stock, he basically... so he kept issuing banknotes and 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 banknotes. So then when the stock started to get a little rocky area and people tried to sell it, he limited it to where he could only pay out so much in gold, like $100 worth of gold, or let's say $10 worth of gold, and everything else that you wanted to cash in, he issued it in more banknotes that he couldn't afford to finance. And it just got worse and worse and worse.
We know the effects of the withdrawal of adrenochrome. We've seen that. Look at people who are on it. Look at Celine Dion, for example. I mean, you could see even the Clintons, how young and like vigorous Hillary looked in the 2016 campaign.
Yeah.
Look at her 2 years later.
How young and vigorous. How young and vigorous Hillary looked in 2016.
Are people like John Law just simply renamed as the centuries pass? So if John Law did this in the early 1700s, is John Law's real name now Jacob the Rothschild? Some 300 years later or 200 years later? It's a pretty compelling argument. I wouldn't say it's compelling, but it's a pretty interesting argument, I would say. Pelosi's pictures on TikTok, somebody just said, yeah, it's another example of adrenochrome. How many NDAs have I signed? Well, ever? I'm just going to say ever.
None. Ever. I think he died. And when did he fucking die? They're trying to say John Law's still alive?
Between 5 and 10. All time. For some things, you don't have to have an NDA. Others you do. So, by the way,
between 5 and 10, but he doesn't have copies of any of them, can't produce any of them for court, never showed up with any of them, doesn't have photocopies, doesn't have a digital copy saved, doesn't have any document. Every NDA I've ever signed, I have a copy of. Ever. Whether it was business related, whether it's contract related, it doesn't matter. I have every fucking one. I had to sign one time, an NDA, when I was driving a tractor and trailer. I guess I had to pick up at a medical technology company that developed drugs or some shit. And I had to be part of the loading procedure or whatever, and we had to sign an NDA. Still got a copy of it. It was probably the lightest load I've ever went and picked up. It was one batch of this like freezer looking thing that had liquid nitrogen bottles with it that hooked up to it, and it went right in the center of the truck, right in the center of the trailer, I guess. It went right in the center of the truck, and there was, I was supposed to stop. I don't remember how often, and I had to, they gave me new seals. I had to break a seal, get in there, check the temperature, get back out, put it back, and close the seal. And I only had enough seals to do that while I was going to. I think I picked up in California, and I was taking it to, where did it go to? Somewhere in the Midwest. I can't remember. But that was an NDA. I still got it. It's in the safe at the house underneath my bed.
These are the things that I was raving about. These things are fantastic. And they taste good too. So it's Manuka honey and it has mint in it. But the biggest thing is, it's made with 60 parts per million of silver salt. Basically colloidal silver. I can't kick this cough now. The strep throat is gone that I had earlier in the week. But the cough is debilitating and really pisses me off. So perhaps Dracula is or was real, hence adrenochrome. Got a good point there. Dracula was always rumored and mythicized to be eternal. They lie to us about everything. We know that, right? So, and of course, Dracula drank blood. Well, to be hence debilitating and really pisses me off. So, I had earlier in the week. Basically, so it's Manuka honey and it has mint in it. But the biggest thing is, it's made with 60 parts per million of silver salt. Basically, colloidal silver. I can't kick this cough now. The strep throat is gone.
Seems like it's working good.
But the cough is debilitating and really pisses me off. So. Perhaps Dracula is or was real, hence adrenochrome. Got a good point there. Dracula was always rumored and mythicized to be eternal. They lie to us about everything. We know.
I don't know that Dracula was made and based on, but it quickly got associated with and turned on Jewish people.
That right. So, and of course, Dracula drank blood. Well, you ever see what happened to Dracula in movies anyway? When he didn't get blood, he would like age, you know. But then when he got somebody's neck and he latched onto it, he became this younger version of himself and he could do all this stuff. Am I under an NDA right now? Yeah, certain topics, yeah. Well, I shouldn't say topics. Yes.
Yeah. Show it in court. All you had to do is show it in court, but you didn't. Right?
The question is yes.
Even the judge told you to bring it. I don't have it.
How were the Native Americans in the Americas if it was newly thought out? How do you know they were? How do you know they just didn't get here first? Even if they were, how do you know they just didn't get here before the rest of the Europe and the other continents across the ocean? Are there any other continents below North America that would have been thawed that maybe they migrated up from? You gotta look at the flat Earth map to make that determination what the lands did back then. But it's possible that number one, they weren't here, and number two, maybe they got here first, and not like way first, but just like kind of first. You were filming in Dallas for the JFK film. Your pic showed you were in a bar called the Mansion Bar. Was this the bar that all the elites gathered at when they placed the bets of JFK's time of death? Yes. It was a disgusting place to be in.
Oh, okay. He went to the bar where all the elites are. Get the fuck out of here.
Purposely booked my stay there based on that information. My stay in that hotel. I purposely wanted to film in that location because of that as well. It was an eerie. I just didn't like it really much. What happened to the gold in the Mississippi bubble? So John Wall, the French at the time were using the currency gold and silver, but gold primarily. Keep in mind, back then gold was kind of like a 1-to-1 ratio almost with silver, kind of like it should be today. So gold was the primary. So they would use gold as their currency to buy stuff all the time. The French citizens would then go into John Law's bank, Banque Generale, and they would deposit gold. But then when they wanted to withdraw their money, their currency, they would get paper currency. It was called livres from John Law's bank. The gold John Law took and he kept. And no one really... It was called livres. They would deposit gold. But then when they wanted to withdraw their money, their currency, they would get paper currency. It was called livres from John Law's bank. The gold John Law took and he kept. And no one really knows what happened to it, but I'm pretty sure he took it back with him to London when he got pardoned. John Law was Swiss, by the way. The ball always wants that gold, even back in the early 1700s. They don't want you to have it because they know. General Flynn is campaigning. Why? I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't seen that. Are the light shows HARP? I'm going to have to assume that you mean the light shows means the Aurora Borealis and Northern Lights. No. Any light show, whether it's up in the North Pole, Alaska, or like we just saw in the United States, which is super strange. Any light show like that is not lights at all. It's magnetism.
So he's wrong. I don't know how you say it's Livre. Livre. I don't know how you say it. It doesn't matter. But that's basically that's the basic currency of France. It wasn't their paper bills. It was in it's like the dollar or the pound or the euro. It was a coin and also an abstract unit that they use to measure certain things. But it was a coin. It wasn't the paper money. It wasn't the banknotes that John Law produced.
So you live on states where just light shows mean see aurora borealis and northern lights. Even back in the early 1700s. Yeah, twist, by the way. The ball always wants that gold. And bank. The gold, John Law, raw, their money, their currency, they would get paper currency. It was called levers from John Law's bank. The gold, John Law took.
Here they are. Open image, a new tab. So this is just like saying dollars, right? So we have like gold dollars. We have silver dollars. We have a $50 piece or a $5 piece or whatever. This is 2.4 livres. I don't know how you say it. I could look it up. But this was not his banknote. His banknote was paper money that was from his bank, Bank General or whatever it was.
Pronunciation videos here on YouTube, and we are looking at how to pronounce this word, meaning box in French. So the plural of the word book. So how do you pronounce this in France? It is said as livre, livre. The S is silent because it's at the end, so just ignore it. We just put it there.
Livre. V-R-E is vra, so livre. Anyways, that's an image of it right there. Like it's not the same as the shit that he was issuing. Hold on. I'm trying to get a picture of, I don't know if any of his paper money still exists, but I'm trying to look it up. Okay. So his paper money didn't even look, what the fuck? So some of his paper money looked kind of interesting with like a picture of him on it, right? But the original paper money he was issuing looked like this. It kind of looked like a receipt, like saying that you had so much money. It just looked like a handwritten receipt. La banque promet payer a porter a vous dix livre. Tornos, I don't know. It just looks like a receipt, right? It doesn't look like money at all. It looks like a hand receipt, like you paid your rent. But those banknotes were worth a certain amount, so they'd be worth like 5 livres or livra. They'd be like worth 5 livres or 30 livres or whatever. It's not. What Phil's saying is wrong. His banknotes were not the livres. His banknotes were paper notes issued from a bank.
No one really knows what happened to it, but I'm pretty sure he took it back with him to London when he got pardoned. John Law was Swiss, by the way. The ball always wants that gold, even back in the early.
John Law wasn't Swiss. Hold on. He was Scottish French. He was born in Edinburgh, in Scotland.
1700s. Was Swiss, by the way.
How do you get your own show wrong?
And he kept. And no one really knows what happened to it, but I'm pretty sure he took it back with him to London when he got pardoned. John Law was Swiss, by the way. The ball always wants that gold, even back in the early 1700s. They don't want you to have it because they know.
You did the show on it, you fucking retard.
General Flynn is campaigning. Why? I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't seen that. Are the light shows hard?
The Mason part doesn't fucking matter. Everybody that was influential at the time was a Mason.
I'm going to have to assume that you mean the light shows mean the aurora borealis and northern lights? No. Any light show, whether it's up in the North Pole, Alaska, or like we just saw in the United States, which is super strange. Any light show like that is not lights at all. It's magnetism. So you live on an electromagnetic terrarium. Essentially, that's what Earth is.
Terrarium.
Giant electromagnetic terrarium. It's a self-sustaining electromagnetic terrarium. So when there's a shift in the magnetic pole that belongs on, that is on Earth right now, all sorts of magnetic shifts happen. And the magnetic shift that we most recently saw this week was the Northern Lights, which is no longer northern. I said this in my car video that I posted on Telegram the other day. What you have happening right now is y'all know that there's a North Pole and a South Pole, and they're both magnetic.
So from what I remember from science, is the Northern Lights are caused when magnetically charged particles basically get launched into the sky and they collide with different gases. And the collision makes flashes, but there's so many of them, they appear like a continuous light. I'm not even sure if that's right, but...
Magnetic, right? At least that's what the official story says. That's not true. There's no South magnetic pole. Not a thing. There's just the North Pole, and that's magnetic. Now, for many years of our life...
Wait. How do you have a North magnetic pole without a South magnetic pole? I don't think you can. So a pole has to be produced in a field. A field has to have both parts, right? I don't think you can. It has to be the other side of the field. Magnetism cannot, as far as science is concerned, magnetism cannot exist without two poles. It's called I think it's called the law of magnetic poles. Hold on, let me Google that. Like poles, north, north, south, south will repel each other. Unlike poles, north, south will attract each other. Short magnets, when they come, the law of magnetic poles. General attraction repulsion between the magnetic poles is that unlike poles always attract each other, like poles each other. One pole cannot exist the other within a magnetic field. The field wouldn't be there. There would be no fit. What is going on? How does he think that there's... Okay.
The North Pole, the actual location of the North Pole, like up in Canada, where all the ice is and everything, blah, 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 where Santa lives, that was also the location of our magnetic pole. Magnetic pole is shifting right now, majorly. Fast, very fast. So how the North Pole always represented the top of the Earth, it's where the compass pointed and da-da-da-da-da-da. Not for long. That's on its way to Russia. Right across the Arctic, right over to Russia. And it's going quickly, a lot quicker than we thought it was. That we thought it was supposed to. It's going fast. So when you have this magnetic shift, the significance of that pole shifting is that the sun shifts around it. So as that magnetic pole goes around our flat plane, the sun and the moon rotate around it. So they're bound to each other. So when that magnetic pole is shifting away from the North Pole and over into Russia, the sun and the moon are slightly shifting too. More importantly, the sun. Because the sun controls our light, and the sun controls our heat. And as it goes, so goes the lands around it. So all these cabal idiots want to say, oh, climate change. The climate is changing. No, it's not. The sun is just shifting. So it's melting things that it's coming closer to, and it's freezing things that it's becoming further away from. Natural, just like night and day. So we can do about it. We're on these lands. So if our lands freeze, we're frozen. If new lands melt and open up, we could go there. It's happened before. It'll happen again. Last time it happened was around the 1800s, when 17 to 1800s, when this new continent opened up in the Mississippi bubble period. New continent opened up. North America was never there before. And everybody wanted to go there. Other lands froze that the sun was moving away from. It'll just keep happening over and over and over again because that is how God intended it. Do you know how far it will shift the sun? Yeah, I mean, it's a predictable pattern. Wherever that magnetic pole goes, the sun rotates directly around it in a circle. It's like a clock. It's moving a lot quicker than anybody anticipated, though. That's the problem. You mentioned leprechaun several times last live. Remember your oath. Remember your mission. And the assassination of President Trump were two things in gematria. Can you comment? Nope.
Nope. Can't do it.
Sorry about
Can't
that.
do it.
Why no stars in the sky? The Big Dipper is no longer visible. So the stars in the sky shift. They are in our celestial dome, which we call the firmament, and they shift in a predictable pattern. And there are times that you won't be able to see them because of magnetism and because of the shift that's occurring right now in our magnetic pole. It's happening. How does LifeWave fit considering the med beds are coming? Great question. Med beds, when they're first released, there are very many people that need a med bed right now. Would you agree?
Very many people. When they're first released, there are very many people.
How many people do you think you know? Okay, now multiply that by, I don't know, 10 million, 100 million. That's how many people need one. There's not like an infinite amount of these things. Okay, so you're going to get one, but you're also going to have to wait and be scheduled. And it's probably going to be scheduled by the initials of your last name, maybe your social security number. I don't know how they're going to do it. And that's, trust me, that's not a problem that I want to deal with. But
the initials of your last name. So just one letter?
I see med beds as an overall, all-encompassing great thing. But if you get one and it helps you get over whatever debilitating disease or illness or whatever you're dealing with, I see that as a once-in-a-while trip to a med bed. I really don't think you're going to med beds every 30 days, guys. I just don't see how that's possible. Logistically, I think that is impossible, actually. So I think you'll get one. I think it's going to help you with a lot of the ailments that you have. But I also think your body's stem cells are the key to keeping you healthy, to maintaining that health. So it doesn't.
That's why you got to buy my patches.
Now, the LifeWave patches are activators of your body's own stem cells. There's no stem cells in the patch. That's not how it works. The patch goes on your skin. And
the stem cells are in the baby fetuses they make the patches out of. The stem cells are in the aborted baby fetus that they make the patches out of, not in the patch.
It's not you put a patch on, you're getting stem cells. It's not like stem cell injections that are tens of thousands of dollars, and half the time they don't work anyway. These patches activate your body's own stem cells, which are already there. They're just dormant. I think the patches are a great way to maintain your health. Med beds, yeah, great way to fix it all up. Make sure it's great, right? Look at maybe diseases or incoming issues that you may have. Patches, great way to keep you where you're at. Maintain that level of health so that you don't run into a problem in the future. What will happen to schools? Very broad question, but there'll still be schools. But I think there's going to be, after all this happens that we've been talking about, there's going to be an enormous re-education campaign in many different ways. For example, we talked about the Fibonacci sequence. Not even taught in schools. God in the Bible, not even taught in schools. Mississippi bubble, not even taught in schools. You know, many years ago, they taught flat earth in schools, and then they stopped.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. This didn't happen. I don't care if you tell me I'm 95 years old and I remember I'm teaching, you're misremembering. They did not. We cannot find this anywhere. There is a newspaper article. Back in the day, newspaper articles kind of used to be sassy, right? They would like take shots at people. They didn't have the journalistic standards. There is a newspaper article from like the early 1900s or late 1800s or something that is taking a shot at these people. It's a U.S. newspaper, and it's making a joke about these people in the U.K. That are mad at a teacher for teaching something, and basically saying they're going to start teaching flat Earth too, like making fun of how dumb that is. That's the only piece of evidence these people can ever find. They did not teach flat Earth in any schools.
And now they teach heliocentric Earth. Well, that's going to change back to how it used to be, because all they've done is lie. Lisa Fox, hi Phil.
When we believed in flat Earth, we didn't have fucking schools. When we as a world didn't know what was going on and thought the Earth was flat, we didn't have fucking schools.
Of JFK and Jackie in Navy Blue watching Regatta in New Jersey. JFK had a boat in the race called Leprechaun, which was based in Wildwood. Trump was just in Wildwood. Leprechaun is 103 in gematria. Navy Blue is 102. UDT Manila comes. Yeah, of course. What do you think that's all coincidence?
Yeah, I don't even think you know what you're talking about.
Sometimes I just like to give you guys a little bit of a carrot with the stick to show you that I'm not shitting around here and I know what I'm doing. You think I just mentioned Leprechaun? You don't think I calculate Leprechaun in my head? You know how easy it is? All those letters are very low in the alphabet. You know how quickly you can add those up in your head? Most of them anyway, with the exception of R and N. Very easy.
Most of them anyways. Well, except for those two that I just now thought of while I was trying to make this up. He forgot P, by the way. P is after N. Except for R and N. Well, and P and O. And is there a Z in there? I can't remember.
Easy to add up in your head. Wildwood is, because of the way the letters are there, the double O and the double W, also very easy to add up. So yeah, I mean, I could do it in my head quickly, spontaneously like that. Oh, there's a leprechaun running around the room. Like I probably thought of that 60 seconds before I did it. But sometimes I like to just give you guys a little bit of a...
Like, oh, there's a leprechaun running around my room.
Quickly, spontaneously like that. Oh, there's a leprechaun running around the room. Like I probably thought of that 60 seconds before I did it. But sometimes I like to just give you guys a little bit of a confirmation that I'm the real deal, I guess. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people say that I'm the real deal.
He's not doing any of this math in his head. We've seen him do math where he's like, what is that? 7, 9. No, it's not. We've seen him do math. I can, like, if I don't know, Mariah's probably not here. She's probably asleep. She had a headache. But I can do math extremely fast. Mariah would rather text me than pull out a fucking calculator, okay? And I can't do fucking gematria in my head that quick. There's no fucking way. And I know I can do math quicker than Phil can.
I don't say that, but all these people do. And
I don't know if so when you do, okay, but here's a serious question I have. When you do math in your head, how do you do it? Do you just like, I don't know how to phrase this. So I learned a bunch of shortcuts with like math, right? And these are like shortcuts that I probably use that if I told you about them, you'd be like, what, huh? And I'm constantly learning new shortcuts with like divisions and like grid systems and squares and stuff. The people that are like Common Core math's retarded. Anyways, but when I do math in my head, it's almost like I'm imagining a whiteboard, but using all the shortcuts too. When some people do math in their head, they're just thinking about numbers. Like when I do math in my head, it's written on a board. Is that how you guys do math in your head? Or do you just think about the numbers, I guess?
will the patches get cheaper or part of healthcare?
Like when, let's say I'm doing division, like I even set it up like division and I put numbers. This is going to sound so stupid. I put numbers at, like when you do, okay, this is the way I do math in my head. Hold on, we're going to settle this. Wait, let's say we do, because I don't know if other people do math like this. But I'm pretty good at it. And like I said, I like to learn shortcuts for certain things. And there's still a bunch of shortcuts that I probably don't know. But like even when I do division, in my head, there's a whiteboard. So let's say we're going to do like, first of all, let me zoom in some. Let's say we're going to do like 258 divided by 3. So in my head, I'm even putting numbers. How do I say this? I'm even putting numbers up here, like up on top. And when I'm thinking about it, right? When I'm thinking about it, I even like know that number's up. I don't know how I'm going to say this. I know that I put that number up there. And I'll go 3 won't go to 2, 3 goes into 25, and I'll say 3 goes into 25, 8, that's 24. So put the 3 in my head without saying it. 3, put the 3, 24, that leaves 1, 8, 8. That's 6 for 18. That's solved. And then I'll go back to the top in my imagination and be like, oh, it's 86. Do you guys do that? Or do you just think about the numbers? But like my numbers are even like up there. Like in my head, I think, oh yeah, what did I put up there? Or did I carry, when I'm doing multiplication, I'll be like, oh, I carried 1. So that 1's there. And it's in my head there, up there. Like in the top or at the bottom or whatever. I don't know.
I actually don't know either of those answers. I would imagine they would get cheaper over time, but I don't know that. Part of healthcare, I would say probably almost definitely.
It's like an imaginary whiteboard, but in my head, I even think like, I don't just think like, oh, 86. I wrote down 86 somewhere. I'm like, in my head, I think, oh, up there, 86. I don't know. It's weird.
Huge. Stem cells, first of all, are a very big part of medbeds. But stem cells will be a very big part of healthcare going forward, which is another reason why I'm introducing you to the system now, so that you're way ahead of anybody else. But
and it is, if I don't visualize 8 and 6 up here, like if I just say, okay, that's 8, that's 6, let's say it's a longer problem. So let's say the answer is like 8, 6, 1, 4, 2. If I just say, okay, that's 8, that's 6, that's 1, divided by this is 4, double that, bring that down, that's 2, I'll forget the number. But if I put it up there, it's like I remember it's up there, and I go back and be like, oh, yeah, 86142. I don't know.
Gotta believe me first, I guess. Oh, Sarah. Sarah Hotz, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, Phil. Ruh-roh. Is 88 in gematria, which comes to 10 days of darkness. You mentioned the 10th ruh-roh on April 30th. What should we be looking for next? Well, I can't tell you that. Oh, I'm disappointed in that question. That's not something I could say. I mean, I could drop these little things here and there for you to figure it out, but I can't come out and give an answer like that. I think
Why would you even be allowed to do drop? Why would you even be allowed to drop little things here and there?
Better than that. 98C, the Balfour Declaration, Lord Rothschild in 1917. The country of Israel was created in 1948. Their flag changed to the Star of David, aka the pagan god Remphan, in 1948. Nakba.
Yeah, if I do multiple choice questions, I usually find it's easier to rule out the answers than get an answer.
Is it wrong to side with Palestine? That's a hot button issue, and I'm not going to say it's wrong to stand with Palestine, but what I will say is Israel is not what you think. The war that's going on over there is not what they say it is. And I'm not going to go so extreme and say it's wrong to stand with Palestine, but what I am going to say is you're really onto something when you look at the Rothschilds in Israel. And you'd be even smarter to tie in the cabal in the past 20 or 30 years, the relationship between Israel and the United States, because there are so many dots that have not yet been connected to that country. And everybody thinks, oh, Israel ally, bullshit.
If Mariah does this, or Mariah gets aggravated when I do this, if it's a really complicated problem, I'll use my finger, and I won't like actually write, but I'll do like, I don't know if I'd call them like tally marks, but I'll be like 1, 2, okay, 3, and I'll even be putting shit up at the top, and she's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, math, hold on, 3, and then that would be 6, and then if you take the decimal, and then 2, 8, and then I don't know. I even use my finger to do it.
Israel is
like I'm moving them.
Headquarters of the military unit of the cabal.
The headquarters of the military unit of the cabal.
And say, well, you say the cabal is in power. Where are they? Point to them. Israel.
Oh yeah, you guys like my little my new Burt. We didn't ever even say anything when that got approved as a sticker, did we?
Israel. And I don't want anybody to say, oh well, that's biblical times in Israel and the Israelites. Yeah, then, not now. The cabal has corrupted that area. So I'm not saying what it was back then. I'm not saying it was all bad, but what I am saying now is they hijacked it just like they hijack everything else. Look at what they did to the swastika. The swastika was a religious symbol. And
they didn't do it to the swastika, right? The swastika exists in like ancient carvings and stuff. It's a simple symbol that was used in like Mesopotamia and shit, right? I think it has something to do with like the seasons or like constant change or whatever. Like it was a symbol before, through like Eurasia and different places. It was even a Christianity symbol at one time. They didn't do shit to the swastika. It's just a simple symbol that was adopted by people that did something with the swastika, right? Like they didn't do anything with it. Nazi Germany did something with it.
Gave it to the Nazis, and then they said Nazis bad. So dig a little deeper on that, and you'll see what I mean. Phil and Sarah, what about leases like solar panels? Are they illegal? I'm not going to get into every single thing.
Byzantine, Byzantine or Christianity, shit from Mesopotamia. What is it? The Indus Valley? Is that right? The Indus Valley civilization. Yes. The Indus Valley civilization had the Indus River Valley, Indus Valley had swastikas.
Could be legal or illegal, but I will say this as an overall statement. If you signed up for something and you agreed to pay it back in dollars and the dollar fails, you no longer have to pay it back because you agreed to pay it back in dollars. And unless you sign an agreement that says, well, we're going to change our agreement now, it has to be dual party consent. So your lender
Oh no.
And you have to agree to a new payment term. And if you don't do that, there is no more payment. Ouch. Oh, gosh. That one hurt a lot.
I haven't. So it's my other Old Ironside. It's going to be my other YouTube channel that I have my One Well stuff on it, but I haven't got around to even starting yet. I got parts here, and then my ankle was busted up for weeks, and now I got a big project at work, so I haven't got on it yet. But it's Cold Beer Creations on YouTube.
Right on the bottom.
Instead of Confessionalist Creations.
New payment term. And if you don't do that, there is no more payment. Ouch. Oh,
his vibrating panties went off.
Have to agree to a new payment.
His dad's got the remote.
No more payment. Ouch. Oh, Gosh. That one hurt a lot. I hit it on the bottom. Manga. Oh, I'm bleeding.
Did he say manga? Did he say manga? I don't think he knows what manga means.
No, not just red. Doesn't make it hurt any less though. So for all you trolls out there.
It's bleeding. No, it's just red. I've never confused bleeding for just red.
Is JR out? No idea what that means. Not a single clue. Phil, you look younger. Is that due to the X patches? First of all, I totally agree. I do look younger. I'm kind of like Benjamin Button in a good way. No, serious note.
What is Benjamin Button in a bad way?
I've been religiously right now. Keep in mind,
He wants to be Benjamin Button to rekindle some of them old relationships he had.
Started LifeWave in my X patches thing about 9 months ago, but I didn't wear these religiously, like every single day, for the last 3 or 4 months. I was wearing them, but I was missing days and I was forgetting, and I say, you know what? Screw this, I'm gonna wear them all the time. And I now wear one specifically for your skin. They also came out with 3 different skin creams for your face. One is a nighttime one is a daily one, and one is an under eye thing. And they also came out with a patch for your skin, which works with those 3 creams.
He kind of looks greasy, doesn't he? Look at that reflection under his eye. It definitely looks like he's using, what's up, Crazy Corman? It does look like he's using some type of cream under his eye, but it looks greasy to me. I don't know. I mean, look, I'm not the fountain of youth. I'm 35 and got goddamn age spots and shit, right? Like, I don't know. But I try not to come in looking greasy. I did take a shower.
So I have seen incredible improvements in my skin. If you don't believe me, go back and watch my videos from late last year. Look at me then, look at me now, and tell me.
I got welder's flash so bad today because I'm retarded. Okay? I was welding, and it was actually like a pretty heavy weld. So, like, we're putting, like, expanded metal on these fire pits to make them into grills, and those are basically just tack welds. But on the part that the rod that the grill rides up and down on, I really have to crank my welder up because I'm laying like a fat ass fucking bead for it to like be like a catch for the grill. It's just like a bump on this steel rod, this probably 1-inch steel rod. And it's just I just want a big tall bead for the thing to catch on. So I had been switching back between my safety glasses. I had my safety glasses on, like tinted safety glasses where I was grinding and cutting. And then when I go to weld, I had my hood on, and I would just drop my hood, okay? All day long, I've been doing that. I had my hat, glasses, and hood on, and I would put my welding hood up, and then when I'd go to weld, I'd just drop my hood, okay? So I'd been doing that all day. I think I did 5 grills today, and I'd been doing that all day. Well, my sister came down, and she needed to borrow my key to the office because she needed to come here and pick something up. So I was like, okay. And I went to hand her the key. And when I went to hand her the key, I was in the middle of welding. I went to hand her the key. I was walking over with my hood, and I stepped under something and knocked my hood off. And when I was walking towards her, and I put it and hung it on the chair. And I went over there and gave her my key, and we talked for a minute or whatever. I hung it on the corner of this chair I was sitting in. So when I went back, I still had my hat on. I still had my safety glasses on. And I thought I still had my hood on. So because I was in such a hurry, because I can't be slowed down, safety third, am I right? I went with the welder and got lined up and went to drop my hood and strike an arc, and bam, got burnt. Now, most people would be like, oh, I'm not wearing my welding hood. Clearly, I know. Not this guy. I went boom again and struck another arc. I did it 3 times before I realized that I wasn't wearing my welding hood anymore. 3 fucking times with nothing but tinted glasses on. My eyes are going to feel like they're full of sand tonight. They're going to burn like a motherfucker. Guaranteed. Probably lost, I don't know, 10% of my vision today because I'm an idiot.
You don't see a difference in my skin. Someone obviously just did. The fine lines and wrinkles are gone. My under eyes have completely changed. I don't really see too many lines on my skin either. I'm 40 years old.
That's right.
Next month. And I didn't look great.
Change your socks.
Now, obviously, I look great. That's what I meant by that. I'm just kidding. But what I'm saying is you can see that the differences in appearance in my skin. And now that I've religiously been on these patches, I think there's an enormous difference. Not only in the way that I feel in my muscles don't get sore anymore. Like, I used to have to go for weekly therapeutic massages on my lower back and my middle back. And I don't have to do that anymore. I mean, I still enjoy a massage, don't get me wrong, but it's not necessary. They've completely changed how my body feels. It's fantastic. And I think a lot of you, I think, are going to feel the same way. Do you sell to Trump because he's looking quite young also? Trump knows about
Drink water, change socks.
stem cells. That's all I'm going to say. Bro's got nicer skin. I just watched some of the older lives. Thanks. Thank you. Is your intel still that DeSantis will be VP? Yes.
Yeah, they already feel kind of like sandy, I guess. Like, they already feel like they're kind of grinding on the inside. That's what made me think of it when Phil was talking about it. But I've done like cucumber or potato slices or something for like moisture. I've done that before. I've been flashed pretty bad by other people before, but I've never done it 3 times in a row to myself because I'm a fucking retard. But
now, an enormous change happened not too long ago in the live that I reported that Flynn is not and DeSantis is. Would I be surprised if something changes again? No, because that shocked the shit out of me. For 4 years, I was saying Flynn. And I was told,
everybody I ever talked to on the road that welded told me, well, I wouldn't say everybody. A lot of people I talked to on the road that weld for a living, and they were like up in their 40s or 50s and still on the road, would be like, I wish I'd have never got into it. I wish I'd have picked a different trade. I wish I'd done something different. I'm losing my eyesight. I'm sure from them getting flashed all the time over a 30 fucking year career, it's got to be pretty bad on the eyes. Thank God I'm not a full-time welder.
yes. Now, an enormous change happened not too long ago in the live that I reported that Flynn is not and DeSantis is. Would I be surprised if something changes again? No, because that shocked the shit out of me. For 4 years, I was saying Flynn. And I was told, not Flynn. I was like, what? Why? Why now? Something happened. Can't talk about it. But
So it was Flynn, but now it's not Flynn.
I wouldn't be surprised if something happens again. I'm not saying that it will, and I don't know that it will, but I am saying that it's possible, of course. Will life insurance policies be a thing in the past in this era? No.
Yeah, it looked funny because like each time I just tried to throw my hood down harder. I could have just been like, oh, there's no fucking hood.
No, that I know.
Didn't work.
I see no reason why someone still can't have a life insurance policy. Health insurance, different thing altogether. Life insurance, to
Health insurance, you got to get it from his tribal nation's health insurance provider.
leave something to your family if you pass away, you're still going to die. I mean, people are still going to die. You know that, right? So let's not be naive to the fact that people still will die. So I can't see how life insurance would go away. I'm sure the entire insurance industry is going to change in terms of like the prices and how the payouts work and all that stuff. I don't know that. I don't know the details of that. I'm not tied into that at all. But I still think it'll exist. And that's what your question was. So yeah. Phil, your intel is 95% based on U.S. and 5%
Yeah, you're right,
5%
Crazy
the rest of the
Corman.
world. But can you shed some light about Canada? The clown Trudeau, the new bills passed, the economy, it's crazy and scary right now. First of all, I think I totally disagree with your number. The clown Trudeau, the new bill 5% based on U.S. and details of that. I'm not tied into that at all. But I still think it'll exist. And that's what
You guys, does he not remember that he sold tribal health insurance and still does?
question was. So yeah. Phil, your intel is 95% based on U.S. and 5% for the rest of the world. But can you shed some light about Canada? The clown Trudeau, the new bills passed, the economy, it's crazy and scary right now. First of all, I think I totally disagree with your numbers. I don't think 95% of my intel is based on the U.S. I would say that maybe 60 to 70% of things that I reference are U.S. For example, I was just talking about Israel. So just on that alone, the 95.5 doesn't work out, right? Because it's just not. I just talked about Israel. So now I have to talk about another 20 things before I can talk about anything else, any other country. So it's just not true. But
That's not 95.5. That's not how that percentage works.
the things that I do reference United States wise, your country,
20-1 is not 95.5.
how do I say this? There's a world alliance right now. The world is split into 3 sections. It's trifurcated into 3
Trump, Putin, and Xi.
areas. Trump is involved and in control of one of them. Putin is in control of another. President Xi is in control of another from China. Now, right now, there are multiple countries in each of these sections. Okay. How I see this working in the short term is one rule of law and one set of instructions for each of those 3 sections based on location and based on a few different factors. I'm not saying it's going to be a world government because it's not, but in the short term, the things that the United States goes through are also going to be the same things that Canada goes through.
He's already said it would be a world government.
And South America and all the countries down there, and a lot of the islands that are out in the Bermuda, Bahamas area, as well as out in the West, Hawaii, and those. So it's all Trump's area right there. We got Putin, and Trump even has some of Europe too. We got Putin out in one side, Xi out on the other side. So when I reference the United States and things that are ongoing in the United States,
Doesn't it seem like Putin and Xi Jinping are like pretty close together?
I say, well, this is about to happen, or this is what we expect to happen, or this is the way that this is gravitating towards. It's not just for the United States; it's for that entire section. And honestly, I think all 3 of those sections are going to be similarly governed. I don't think Putin's going to be doing a completely different thing than Trump. I think they're going to be very similar for a very long time.
So it's not one world government. It's three kings.
It's going to be good. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. X patches. What happens when the banks go down? Like how you pay for them, you mean? We're working on that.
He's not running a filter that I can tell.
There's going to be things that are deemed essential, and your health is going to be one of them. X patches. What happens when the banks go down? Like how you pay for them, you mean? We're working on that.
No, they're not. Call up LifeWave and ask them when the global economic collapse happens if they're working on a way to still pay for X39 patches.
There's going to be things that are deemed essential, and your health is going to be one of them. And stem cells are tied to your health, especially your future health. So we're working on that. We got a little bit of time left. We'll get there. Who will be flipping the switch? Which switch? To what?
I'm going to see if I can get Phil to give me a week in his Hawaii house. If I don't even know if I can afford the flights are probably $2,000.
Are you asking me who's going to decide let's get this party started or finished, for that matter? Is that what you're asking? There's not one person that you could put in that answer and be accurate. It's kind of a group decision. And depending on exactly what you're talking about, I have to answer that closer based on what you meant by that. What will happen to Fortune 500 companies like General Electric, Aerospace? If it's a cabal-owned company, it's going to be completely wiped out and built from the ground up. So I don't think the infrastructure of the company will change, such as like the products, and if we still need those products, which for majority of companies we will, if we still need them, will we be able to have access to them? And the answer is yes. It's just going to be a completely...
I think we should challenge Phil to... He claims he has this API where he can see millions of people viewing his show. I think we should challenge Phil to show us on camera him starting a show from 0 to his first, 10 million. That shouldn't be hard. Whether it take like 5 minutes.
Different ownership structure from the top down. And a lot of the bullshit that was included in companies such as that and many other thousands will be removed. By the bullshit, I mean the cabal's reach to stick their hand in there and extract money to use against us and use against humanity. Good evening, Phil. I heard Bank of America is now buying up lots of gold. If they're going under, why would they do this now? Maybe in a different way. If they're buying up gold now and they're about to go under, who's buying up the gold? Is it really them? Or do we just have control of the bank?
Oh, it's the mail. Okay. It's the
Look at things a different way. If you just look at the surface and you look at Bank of America buying gold, Phil said they were going under. What the hell? Phil must be wrong. Or there's an alternate explanation. The illicit gains that Bank of America has. And
Phil, if you accept this challenge on the down low, if you give me $10,000, I'll write a script with a random number generator that always goes up by at least 10,000 until you hit 30 million. So you could do it on every show, right? You could have a live camera. You could have it down in the corner and it'd pop up and show how many people were live watching you.
Has had for however many decades. We have control of them now. We have control of those gains and we're buying up the gold. That's kind of a better explanation, isn't it? Than the alternate one that you were thinking of? I think so. I feel the podium sign at President Trump's rally in Wildwood was purple. I noticed that actually. Hold on, this Instagram address. There we go. Watch that. He stopped test guys recently. Purple and GM is $88. Metric year with your purple suits Scotland. Dropped 88 days of oh, see when you're reading. So little stuff like that, like a purple podium, which is completely out of place because the podium's never purple. Little stuff like that is an obvious obvious. How many times have you ever seen a purple podium before? Echo? Okay, great. Hold on a second.
It already quit if they just...
Echo should be on now, hopefully. Again, not on my end, but I'd be happy to correct it if I could. We all go with the echo now? Okay, good. So when you see things like that, like a purple podium that kind of just sticks out like a sore thumb, you should be figuring out why the hell is there a purple podium tonight? And I think Lisa did some good work there in trying to come up with some reasons. Go straight to gematria. I think Lisa only did the word purple. Try adding another word, and then you might actually get purple. Keep using purple, but purple something. I'm not gonna tell you what to do because what good would I do then? But if you add another word, I think it'll open your eyes a little bit even more. So can you give some indication about the cost of the initial sign-up fee for life patches? First of all, there's no sign-up fee. That's a misnomer. The money you're paying when you sign up are for patches. You're getting patches, so you're paying for a product. Okay, you're not paying for a membership fee, and then after that, you also have to buy the patches. The only thing you're paying for on sign-up is for patches. The more you pay on sign-up, the more patches you get. So in order to be eligible for commission, that's the thing. If you're getting into this and you only want the patches, fine. But I want you into this because I want you to earn commission. And my plan of building a system is going to help you at least half of your downline get completely built out for you. So you only have to worry about the other half. We're going to teach you how to do that other half. But the whole point of this is getting into earn commission. You could get patches for a little bit cheaper. But if you want commission, it's $124.99. That will get you your first 30-day supply of patches. And there's a whole bunch of different
That
kinds
makes
of patches.
sense.
X39, SP6, SP6, the skin one, Alavita that I told you guys about. There's an antiviral. There's an ice wave one, which helps for immediate. There's 2 patches that you put on an area that's hurting you. Takes the pain right away. It's incredible. I don't know how it does it. It's incredible.
Incredible.
So many different
Very incredible.
Customize your order. The 125 package though, or up. The 125, 199, 250, 599, 1599 gets crazy. But you get all these patches for these things. The 125 level gets you eligible to make commission right away. Now, as your downline gets built, you may not want to be capped at $1,500 a week in commission. You may want to go to $2,500 a week. Well, then you have to go up a package. Instead of the 125 pack, you have to go to the 199 pack. So instead of 125, you got to pay an extra $75. Now you're up to $200. But now you can make an extra $1,000 a week. When you're making $1,500 a week, are you not going to pay an extra $75 a month to get the bigger package? Yeah, you are. Of course you are. Especially if it means that your commission level goes up because you've already been built to there. So yeah, you're going to do it. So that's what it is. That's how it works. 125. 125 gets you 30 days of package, 30 days of patches. Plus.
I wonder what this was a comm for. This was probably a comm, right? I wonder what this was a comm for. Trump's been up for a week, taking amphetamines, working hard. He was telling me about where I was talking about welding, Patty.
Immediately makes you eligible for commission. The best package that's out there is the 250 package, but you do not have to do it if you can't.
The patches that the Frog News guys died on. Doug Kuzma found dead in an ambulance, and he was wearing 32 X39 patches.
Afford it, but it is the best package out there. You get that one. You get all sorts of patches. You get bonus points. You get a whole bunch of shit.
That was back in 2020 when everybody thought that Trump was doing amphetamines. Like he was, so when he would appear on stage, he was like sniffing constantly, like crazy. And he had like this shake to him. And people thought that he was either on like way too much Adderall or some type of amphetamine.
My team will explain that to you on your call.
I just remembered it because we were talking about purple podiums, purple eyes.
Why isn't that showing up over here, though? That's really weird. Is this it? Oh, your fall of the Roman Empire and the date it fell has good numbers in gematria. You posted Codex. Ooh, someone's looking. Fonseca. You posted Codex on Truth Social. I can speak. I do this all the time, believe it or not. I have a show and everything. You posted Codex on Truth Social a week or so ago. There's a Codex Silver Bible. Another Mississippi bubble, or nod to the Vatican. It was a reference to the Vatican. And I can't say any more than that at this time, but some pretty good digging there by you. I'm a little impressed by that. Great job. Where does Barron Trump fit into this whole thing? Unfortunately, I can't talk about Barron at this time. I'd say keep your eyes there, though. Let's watch with the bulbs. Phil, why is the sun brighter, whiter, and larger than the smaller yellow sun? Does this have anything to do with the magnetic pole shift that you were talking about earlier? Yes. Yes, it does.
Of course it does.
Oh, you guys,
yeah.
What's up, guys? Now you're starting to realize that my flat
Very good digging. You did your job.
Earth stuff isn't bullshit. You're actually starting to see things with your own eyes, and they're starting to tie into the things that I've been talking about with flat Earth for 4 years. Interesting. Isn't that interesting? How it all just comes full circle like that? Flat Earth, what a bunch of shit. This guy's an idiot. Can't believe he listens to anything he said. You know, I love his intel, but he talks about that flat Earth stuff, and it really makes me question him. Now suddenly what? We have northern lights in southern part of the United States? And everyone's like, well, why? Why? Oh, I'm saying smaller flare. Okay, yeah.
That's right.
Flare. What? I've been talking about this for 4 years. I pay $199 a month for a pack of X39 patches. I can get them on my own for $59. It's a ripoff going through you for me. I buy the package, 5 packs of X39. Hey, go right ahead. Good luck earning commission. You don't need me? I don't need you either. Go save some money on the patches and earn 0.
Ooh, that's like it hit a nerve.
For me, I buy the package. I pay $199 a month for a pack of X39 patches. I can get them on my own for $59. It's a ripoff going through you for me. I buy the package, 5 packs of X39. Hey, go right ahead. Good luck earning commission. You don't need me? I don't need you either. Go save some money on the patches and earn 0. Take care. You know what? I'll sign somebody else up in your spot and they'll make tens of thousands of dollars next year or this year. But hey, you saved hundreds. So great. Idiot. It's just a classic example of cutting off your nose to spite your face. You know, hey, I'm going to save hundreds, but I'm going to lose thousands. I don't care. Go ahead. And then you come here and bragging about it. Like, stupidity never ever, like, just, it would never surprise me. John Law looks a lot like a Rothschild whose death was recently reported. Interesting, huh? Sure does.
You know, all those pictures of John Law from the 1700s, he looks just like a Rothschild who recently died.
Help, what if you joined under someone else because you were in 7K and couldn't join under you? Can you switch? Not if you became a brand partner. If you became a brand partner under someone else, if you were just a preferred customer and you were only buying patches and you joined under someone else, you could switch back up to my downline as a brand partner. But if you enrolled under somebody else and you earned commission and all that, we could ask LifeWave to switch you, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'll try, but I doubt it. Bill, what percentage of the population is now awake? My opinion? Well, it's not really my opinion. I kind of know. I'm not going to answer this like I'm answering it as awake to everything, like flat Earth and all that stuff. I'm going to answer it as awake to election fraud and, you know, cabal and that kind of stuff. Say about 85, 90%, roughly. I think you're seeing that now too. I think you can honestly say that about 85, 90% of the people you know are awake. Think about every 10 people that you know.
85.
Don't count clusters. Don't count like a family of.
Could you imagine that 85 or 90% of people believe that Q and President Trump and that? Could you imagine living in that world? I hate that 3% of the people that I know believe it. Could you imagine 85 or 90% of the people were full-on filtards?
Four who live all under the same roof and like go by what the dad says. You know what I mean? Don't do that. I consider that one. I think we should say like households. 80 to 90% of households, I think, are awake, depending on the area you live to. Some areas are very, very heavily crushed with like far left advertising. So those areas, probably more like 65%, 60 maybe. But we don't need 100. We don't even need 90. We're good where we are to implement everything that we need to implement. So are you telling us that the white hats have control over the banks? Did not say that. What I said was, if you're seeing Bank of America buy up metal, that is a good indication that Bank of America is doing that for a purpose that is in our best interest, the white hat's best interest. So it could be a key indicator that that particular organization and entity, Bank of America, is doing it for good and not doing it because of anything else that was referenced earlier. Do the Dems still have the ability to cheat? No. I mean, small scale, yeah, but not like 2020. That was corrected a while ago. That is actually the reason why I get so pissed off that none of this has rolled out yet. Because if you've taken away the ability for them to cheat, that means you could prove that they cheated. And that means,
can you?
In my opinion, that means that it should have been announced in 2020, should have been corrected. And President Trump should have been awarded the office.
Wait, you said the Supreme Court already did that. Supreme Court already said President Trump's the president. What do you mean they need to award him the office? They already did that. God. I cannot wait. I cannot wait till after the election to see Phil's response. I wonder if we could get Phil to come on and do a live election stream.
And furthermore, if you have the ability to stop the cheating in the future elections, and I'm not just talking about the United States, I'm talking about worldwide. The cheating happens everywhere. You know that, right? How do you think Trudeau gets in office? He's just elected? No. So if we have the ability to stop it, then what the hell are we waiting for? I get it. I get their explanation, but I don't like it. I don't accept it either. So the Barron Trump Chronicles were written by Ingersoll Lockwood in the 1800s. And the Barron Trump... No, it keeps moving. Are the Barron Trump Chronicles and Ingersoll Lockwood website something we should look at? Who was Ingersoll Lockwood? Don't tell me he was an author of the... I know that. Who do you think he really was? You think his name was Ingersoll Lockwood? Expand your mind on that a little bit. You know, I read that book in jail. The Barron Trump thing. True story. Is 2020 still going to be overturned? Even better than that, bro. Weight loss patches are called SP6. Yeah, true. So SP6, there's...
Yeah, you can't talk about people's sexuality. You put... The auto mod grabbed it, but it says I can't stand his gay ass clap. You can't say shit like that on Twitch.
The patch for my patches system. It's called SP6. It controls your cravings for carbohydrates, sugar specifically, but other refined carbs.
The automatic mod got it.
It's not just about
the bot.
health and health. These things help you in a broad range. Links down below to sign up. What happened to Rudy G? Rudy G turned on Trump. Hard to
Rudy turned on Trump. I'll be.
right. What happened? Is Juan Satin part of the plan? No. Juan had some intel. He had a good source a while back, which he no longer has. So part of the plan? No. Terrible way to characterize that. He's not part of the plan at all. So part of the plan. Hard to believe, right? G. Rudy G turned on Trump. Hard to believe, right?
You guys remember when Rudy was doing those press conferences and his black hair dye was running down his face?
What happened? Is Juan Satin part of the plan? No. Juan had some intel. He had a good source a while back.
See, Patty.
Which he no longer has. So part of the plan? No. Terrible way to characterize that. He's not part of the plan at all. Can we set up X patches, 7K Metals, Wellness Company, Field of Greens in Canada, or find similar Canadian companies so that we don't get dinged with the exchange rates and shipping charges? I have no ability to do that. No, I don't own any of those companies. I'm an affiliate for those companies, just like you would be if you signed up. So there's nothing I can do there. Why did Rudy turn? I don't know. That's Rudy, but probably had to do with immense pressure being put on by the ball. So, fellow Justice John Roberts visited the Evil Island. Yes. I mean, you saw his name in his photo. You saw his name in the books, and you saw him. I think it was next to Bill Clinton in a pool.
The Evil Island.
Phil, is there a link for joining Lifewave Australia? Same link.
I thought he was talking about Rudy from the movie. Rudy.
LifeWave distributes to Australia. In fact, before you schedule your appointment, on that link, there's a drag-down menu for your country. Just select it. Is Starbucks a cabal-owned company? Yes. Biden and Congress aren't real. It's a movie. That wasn't a question, but yes, that's true. Ow, my pack is itchy. Am I related to Lee Harvey Oswald? No.
He is Lee Harvey Oswald.
Has Charlie Ward turned? I'm not aware of that, no. Sorry. Ingersoll Lockwood in Gematria comes out to the real commander-in-chief. Interesting. Funny how that Gematria could get you like so many different answers on so many different topics, isn't it? Great tool. Did JFK know that NASA was fake? Yes. Towards the end of the 1960s. Well, I should say towards the end of his presidency. Okay, a couple more. What does GOAT mean? Greatest of all time?
Easy, ladies. I know you guys saw that wink. Calm down. Oh, God.
Can't answer some of those. Sorry. Do you still believe the EBS will be happening? Yes. Damn. Is HARP still active? Yes. Not in the way that you think, though. Harpoon? That was the thing. Harpoon question mark. What? What about Harpoon? What will be the retirement age for Nasera? 55, I believe. Or at least that's what it was the last time I saw. Anything can change, obviously. I don't write these laws.
Yeah, he does. I've noticed that with a lot of them. A lot of them want that power of people. Like when he says something, people believe him, change their actions, do something, take action, whatever. He wants that control and that power of a large group of people.
I know it's on my shirt. I know that. But I don't know what you're talking about when you say harpoon question mark. What? What's the question? Could we use like phrases when we ask questions? Single word question mark. I don't understand. On your Telegram page, it says fake scam, gematria. No, it's not com. It was never com the whole time. Anybody could report any channel, and if they get hundreds of complaints, they're going to mark it as fake scam. And just so you guys know, Telegram doesn't have any sort of customer service that you can talk to.
Wait, you knew the owners. Wait. You knew the owners of Telegram and would have it fixed within a couple hours. Good job, trolls. Now, there's no customer support at Telegram. Damn.
So you can't get it fixed.
There is customer support at Telegram. I've spoken to them.
But it doesn't affect the channel anyway, so it doesn't matter. But those are my channels. Trying to get a good one. Okay, then a good one. Where's it going? How much of our history is unrecoverable? None of it. None of it at all. There's nothing that we haven't learned yet that we can't go ahead and educate ourselves and our children and our future, generations. We could educate everyone on all of that, and it wouldn't harm anybody. It would be shocking. Many things would be shocking to a lot of people, but it's not lost, and it's not forever gone, and it's not even to the point where you say, well, we didn't learn it, so now it's too late to learn it. No. In fact, I think all of it could be relearned and reintroduced into our education system. Keep in mind, this was already done once before. Our education system used to be completely different than what it was. They pulled things out of the schools. They added new bullshit to the schools. Now our kids are growing up to be liberals.
Oh,
so
liberal kids.
Extracted before could be re-added, and what was added could be extracted.
I'm pretty sure the younger generation is always the most liberal generation, and they become more conservative as they get older.
And I think that's pretty much how it's going to go. I think that people like me are going to have a huge role.
You don't remember like fucking hippies and Woodstock and shit?
In that. I'm not just talking about like schools. I'm talking about like this type of platform that you're on now. I mean, it's cool that I get 30, 40 million views, whatever. That's awesome. I remember I had 1 million for the first time. I thought that was awesome. I remember I had 100, honestly, on Facebook. I thought that was crazy. But
I'm honestly thinking about getting rid of Telegram. Changing my schedule some.
I think this type of platform that I have is the future of education. The education system, the actual schools. Yeah. Like, go learn your math. But for history and for, geopolitics, you don't need school for that. You need people that know it already, that have a very good...
You don't need school for history or geopolitics. Phil's going to teach you.
...ability to articulate it and to hold an audience's attention for hours at a time. How many lives do you see of mine where even if it's the numbers that are... What's the number I'm on right now? 44,000. You will see that 44,000 for 2 hours straight. There's no big drop-offs. It's not like people tune into me and they're like, oh, that's bullshit, we're out of here. I'm right now. 44,000. You will see that 44,000 for the time. How many lives do you see of mine where even if it's the numbers that are... What's the number I'm on right now? 44,000. You will see that 44,000 for 2 hours straight. There's no big drop-offs. It's not like people tune into me and they're like, oh, that's bullshit, we're out of here. The number just stays the same. Once I have you here, you're here. You know how hard that is for most people?
I have pretty good retention.
So I think this type of platform, it's not just me. Of course, I'm talking about me because go, but it's so stupid. It's not just me. There'll be others too that are able to take and disseminate this information to millions and millions of people. So that'll be it for tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Love you guys. Don't know when my next live is going to be up, and I'll announce it as soon as I could. One more opportunity to join that X-Patches system down below. That is the enrollment into LifeWave. Get into my ground floor. Let me do my advertising and branding after that, and let's everybody get positioned properly to build up your downline as quickly and most efficiently as possible. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I will announce my next live within the next day or two. See you then.
Why would Phil want people to sign up below him on something like LifeWave? Why would that be a thing? That seems weird, huh? I wonder why he'd be into that.
Why are American billionaires suddenly building $100 million bunkers? What do they know?
A stockpiling strategy only
Because without people underneath Phil, he doesn't make the millions
3%
he wants to
of
make.
Americans know about. In this free video presentation,
That's the only way to do it. Shut up.
My bad. Much of a delay because I know what to do now. It's going to be a little annoying, but that's why I actually brought my laptop over too, so I can see both screens simultaneously. So anyway, what I was saying was this is a back-to-back live, and I usually don't do those, as you know, to that upcoming global economic collapse. So all of these topics kind of tie together, and that is NESARA. So we're going to get into that in just a moment, but until we do, why don't you guys tell me where you're from, man? Staying right about there. So you guys should be able to hear me. This mic picks up everything. Honolulu. As hell, kind of broad. Korea, Idaho. It's in Netherlands, Texas. Stuff. We have a movie coming out, Myrtle Beach. Got a big audience, and a lot of people are still, somewhere within their commitments, whether it's work or whatever, throughout the night. Company last night, but we didn't talk about some of the things that they do have to offer, and these are their best. It's the acclaimed all-in-one website today. Their third bestseller is the Contagion as the Travel Emergency Kit. .health/Phil, one of our sponsors. Again, I'm giving you medication that you're providing, but for me, last night we talked about a new form of employment and how the future of employment is foreshadowed and how we expect it to be. And I introduced, I kind of reintroduced, because I introduced it about 9 months ago, but I reintroduced a company called LifeWave and how you could get involved with LifeWave. And
New employment, guys. There'll be no more jobs, nothing to be manufactured. Nobody will have any jobs ever unless you're a LifeWave distributor. The only company that's going to survive this, is LifeWave.
Going to be. So the link for that is down below.
I made some of it, Crazy Corman, a while back. Actually, I took that. That's been a while, but I took that to Mariah's uncle, who owns a vape shop and makes his own house juice, and he made some. It was pretty good. Right now, I switch back between like my sub-ohm tank and these disposables just because they're handy, and I don't have to drive all the way to Johnson City to get them. But
as is the wellness company, it's X-Patches.
This disposable is watermelon ice,
completely filled,
and the other one's raspberry
ice.
Available
if you haven't yet, but this company offers thousands of dollars a week in commission.
It's blue raz ice
commission plus bonuses, which could far exceed $100,000 a week. I know it sounds like those numbers are like hard to comprehend for somebody that subcontract assisted. A chance to do.
I think he picked LifeWave because it doesn't seem like LifeWave has a cap. So if you were to sign everybody up on Earth, you'd be making billions and billions and billions of dollars. You know how 7K he got into? I don't think he thought 7K was going to take off the way it did. And once he saw that success, he realized he kind of fucked up, right? So he got to the 12.5 a week, which is awesome. I mean, that's amazing money. Most people will never make that much money in their life, right? But they told him they were going to make him a new spot. They never did. Seems like he's not exactly on the ends with the company and not in the greatest relationship. So he started doing his 401k rollover, which doesn't have a cap, right? It's just a flat percentage, 6% or whatever. When he starts doing that, not everybody has 401ks. It's a high bar of entry, right? It's $25,000 minimum to get into this, and you have to have 401k or IRA rollover. If you are still working, you have to do a loan against it. You can't take it all out and roll it over, whatever. There's like a bunch of prerequisite stuff. But he found this LifeWave patches. The patches are relatively cheap. Most people could probably spare, $30 a month or whatever to buy a couple patches. It's a low bar to entry, and there's no cap. There's no cap on it. So if he was to sign up 1 million people, he'd be making fucking more money than he'll ever make with 7K probably.
Do so. So we got something special to talk about tonight, and that is NESARA. Now, I'm going to give a completely different story about NESARA, the history of NESARA, show you in the real world, in the media. How will NESARA benefit you as you sit there right now? How will it benefit your kids, your grandkids, and so forth? We're going to talk a little bit about that. Then, well, not then, but prior to that, we're going to talk about a situation that hardly any of you know about. And one of my followers actually emailed it to me. It's kind of my detective too, a little bit in some ways, but he kind of emailed it to me and he said, hey, what about this? And I'm like, yeah, you nailed it. And it kind of gave me the inclination to reach out to my sources and be like, hey, can I talk about this? Because there's certain things that I can't talk about. You know, certain things that I can't just come out and say without going to the big guys and being like, is this something that, look, I know this is going to happen, but is this something that is okay for me to speak about to millions of people over a show? So I went ahead and I did that and I got permission and I put up a whole presentation today that is really going to draw a lot of high eyebrows. By the end of tonight's live, I think you're going to see exactly how the White Hats plan to implement Sarah. And then after you see that plan, you're going to start looking around your life and you're going to start reading the articles and you're going to start looking on the news and you're going to start realizing that it's happening right now, right before your eyes, right under your nose, and you don't even know it. So we're going to tie that all together tonight. Okay. All right. The first thing I want to do is watch a video. Now, this was the problem that Rumble Studio was glitching on. So I'm going to share my screen. It's a quick 3-minute video. It's an introduction to something that's called the Mississippi Bubble. Raise your hands. How many people learned about the Mississippi Bubble in school? All you financial backed people out there, whether you're in the mortgage industry or accounting or even historians, people that are into history. What level is
did you learn about this at all? The taxes are illegal. There was a bunch of people that were upset about this. X-Patch is the only way to make money. It's the new employment system.
No, never. No clue. What's that? Nope. Don't remember. Nope. No, never. Nope. No, not me. Never. Nope. I haven't had one yes yet. There's absolutely no yeses out of the millions of people that are watching. Never heard of it. No, never. Nope. Not me. Never heard of it. Why do you think that is? Why do you think you never heard of the Mississippi Bubble? Well, you're going to learn about it tonight. You're going to learn about it tonight, and then you're going to be like, son of a monkey. And then you start looking around your life, and you're going to be like, oh.
What did he call? He called them names?
The first thing
was that during his pitch?
Hold on. 3-minute video that gets you a so Streamlab was I'm glad that's why with Strep Pro we kind of know the content of the previous live would kind of tie together. And I know this is this topic that we're going to talk mostly about tonight is going to be has been and will continue to be a very hot button topic, and that is Sarah. So we're going to get into that in just a moment. But until we do, why don't you guys tell me where you're from so I could do some shout outs to those areas. Right. Ouch. This mic picks up everything. Bo asked that before. Texas Center Trout. We're really hops in a little bit later because I do realize that a 7 p.m. start time on the East is only 4 p.m. on the web. I have a larger replay audience or people that are hopping in maybe midway with that. And that is the Wellness Company. We talked a little bit about the Wellness Company last night, but we didn't talk about some of the things that they do have to offer. And we'll get that right out of the way right off the bat. And that is the Wellness Company. We talked a little bit about the Wellness Company last night, but we didn't talk about some of the
What did he call them?
And these are their best sellers. So they have 4 top sellers that they're selling on their website right now. The first is called a medical emergency kit. It's the acclaimed all-in-one prescription kit addressing over 30 conditions, minor ailments to complex diseases. And then they have something called Spike Support. I didn't know about this one until I started reading the website today. The original Spike Support contagion emergency kit. They call it your silver bullet for respiratory illnesses, designed off of Dr. Peter McCulloch's life-saving protocol. And of course, the fourth one is the travel emergency kit. Travel peace of mind, don't let illness and expensive foreign urgent /fill. If you go to the /fill and you enter that correctly, you will get 10% off of your order. So thank you to the Wellness Company for being one of our sponsors. Again, I'm sick of the people that research the Wellness Company and try to say, oh, they were bad. Well, no, they're not. They're giving you medication that your doctor will not give you. Think about that for a minute. They are giving you medication that your doctor won't give you. And you're trying to say that they're bad. I'm like,
yeah, so will a guy on the street corner. But, 9 times out of 10, it's just fucking fentanyl, and you're going to die.
Sorry. I don't care who's involved. I don't care about any of that. They're providing medication that pharmaceutical companies don't want you to have. So I'm going to roll with them. And you don't have to, of course. It's always your choice. But for me, they're a good sponsor. And I think they're helping a lot of people throughout many different health issues right now. Speaking of health issues, last night we talked about a new form of employment and how the future of employment is foreshadowed and how we expect it to be.
This is what the polls say right now. Polls that ended on May 9th. This is 538 does their own polls, but they also put polls together or put polls on their website, and they keep up with them. So polls that ended on May 9th. The New York Times, Biden 48, Trump 47. I'm sorry, Biden 46, Trump 47, Trump +1. The New York Times, Biden 39, Trump 40. These run at different times and they're at different target groups. Biden 39, Trump 40, Trump +1. The New York Times, 814 RV. This is from April 28th to May 9th. Biden 47, Trump 45. That's Biden +2. New York Times, Siena College, 38, even. Philadelphia Inquirer, Biden 45, Trump 48, Trump +3. Another New York Times, 37, 41, Trump +4. New York Times, Trump +3. New York Times, Trump +4. Oh, these are different states, too. I went to Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. Now, this is Nevada, Trump +13. Trump +14, Trump +12, Trump +14. Michigan, Biden +1, Biden +3, Trump +7, Trump +2. Georgia, Trump plus 9, Trump plus 8, Trump plus 10, Trump plus 8. These are kind of look like the polls that happened already in 2020. Arizona, Trump plus 6, Trump plus 9, Trump plus 7, Trump plus 9. Maryland, Biden plus 17. This is from Emerson College. Biden plus 22 from Emerson College. This is just president general election. This is from across the U.S. Biden plus 1, Trump plus 2. So those are 3 different polls. Here's another one from Maryland on May 7th. Biden plus 28. General election, U.S. average from YouGov, even. Florida, Trump plus 9, Trump plus 9. There's 2 different polls from the Florida Chamber of Commerce. Wisconsin, Biden plus 1, Biden plus 6. North Carolina, Trump plus 5. U.S. average, Trump plus 1. These are all the polls through May, basically. Georgia, Trump plus 8, Trump plus 10. This is May 4th. Trump plus 2 for Pennsylvania. North Carolina, Trump plus 7. Michigan, Trump plus 5. Georgia, Trump plus 5. Florida, Trump plus 9. Arizona, Trump plus 2. May 3rd, general election for New York. Biden plus 19. Presidential general election average. Biden plus 1, Biden plus 2. USA Today had them at an even. May 2nd, general election. Trump plus 1, Biden plus 1, Trump plus 1. May 1st, polls. Trump plus 4, Trump plus 2. This is a national average. Minnesota, Trump plus 3, Trump plus 5, even. Virginia, Biden plus 4, Biden plus 1, Biden plus 3. General election average. Here's a bunch of them for April 30th. We have Trump plus 2, Biden plus 1. Trump plus 2, Biden plus 1. Trump plus 1, Biden plus 4. Trump plus 2, Trump plus 2, Trump plus 3, Trump plus 5. Those all ended on April 30th, and they're all for the general election, and anybody in the U.S. was allowed, or voters in the U.S. were allowed. Pennsylvania, when the AARP does a poll, it always trends towards Trump. It's an older voter segment. Pennsylvania AARP poll, Trump plus 5, Trump plus 4. It also says who funded these. I haven't been reading it, but it gives you information on who paid for these polls. There's a key to it. I like 538. They seem to gather all the polls, and they're not too bad. Yeah, so it's back and forth with a lot of these polls. Some of them actually show Biden winning. It just depends on what polls you look at. Most of them show, I would say there's more Trump winning than there are Biden winning, but they're in the single digits.
And I kind of reintroduced, because I introduced it about 9 months ago, but I reintroduced a company called LifeWave and how you can get involved with.
That's not the way it works. That's not the way it works. I know all the Biden supporters have done. You don't.
LifeWave, and let me, my expertise, and my highly trained team help you succeed and prepare yourself for the next phase of what we think the working environment is going to be. So the link
for every Biden supporter you talk to every day that says it turned, who's to say that somebody down the road isn't talking to every Trump supporter that's turned? It's just if you're not going to come up with polling data, I don't do anecdotal. Everybody I know that loves so and so told me they don't anymore.
Down below, as is the Wellness Company. It's xpatches.phil.lesky.live. We are completely filled on our calendar. You may find some appointments available if you haven't yet, but this company offers thousands of dollars a week in commission, all the way up to $25,000 a week base commission plus bonuses, which could far exceed $100,000 a week. I know it sounds like those numbers are like hard to comprehend for somebody that doesn't have any skills, maybe in the health or the medical industry. You could literally just be a 1099 subcontractor for this company. Let me show you how to do it, and you are going to blast it out of the park. So if you're not involved with my xPatches system, my xPatches team, and the quantum team that I'm part of at LifeWave, please sign up. Let us help you change your life. We were inundated.
So currently, it shows Trump remains a slight even money favorite. It's still 1-1. So if you bet 100, you'd win 100, right? 2024. Biden sets at 11-10, though, which means if you bet 100, you'd win 110, right? But the odds seem to be trending better for Biden because they were 5-4 Is that how you say it? 5-4. So if you bet 100, you'd win 120. No, 125. So they seem to be trending a little bit better. Speaking of, there's even odds for. I looked it up the other day. There's even odds for Michelle Obama. She's a 16-1 underdog. And there are, so is Robert Kennedy Jr. is a 16-1. If you really want to take the long bet.
With appointments over the last 24 hours since I talked about this last night. And we have recently opened up a little bit of calendar space. So you will find new appointments available if you haven't signed up yet. And if you haven't signed up yet and you think, oh, well, that's going to fail. That's just another pyramid. That's just another MLM. Well, let me change your mind about it.
If you don't take, if you don't take Trump, you can bet this in Vegas. If you don't take Trump, Biden, Michelle Obama, Kennedy Jr., RFK, I guess I should say, Newsom, I think, was one. Kamala Harris. Nikki Haley, I think, was listed. She's like a 50-1. Gretchen Whitmer was even listed as like 100 or 200, or no, 100-1. If you don't take any of those, so Trump, Biden, who'd I say? Michelle Obama, RFK, Kamala Harris, Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer, and Nikki Haley. If you don't take all of those and you bet on any other candidate, it's 150-1. So if anybody else wins president, you can multiply your money by 150. You know, it sounds like a good bet to me.
About that. Because the preconceived notion is wrong. And I could prove it wrong. And I could literally change your life both in a health regard and in an income regard. All you got to do is give me the chance to do so. So we got something special to talk about tonight. And that is NESARA. Now,
Trump was doing better in the polls in 2020.
I'm going to give a completely different story about NESARA, the history of NESARA.
We got past that.
Platforms exist that offer me the opportunity to be able. I know it's echoey. You shouldn't be able to hear that. When you hear me, you should also hear what's playing around me, and it's just not happening. So I think what I have to do is I have to get rid of the video altogether, and I'm just going to.
So he's trying to get. This is what he's trying to do. He's trying to play the video on his speakers and have them come back through his mic because he doesn't know how to distribute his sound through his computer and give it to you guys. Like, there is no sound in my office, but you can hear Phil. Why? Because I have basically a digital wire that goes from Phil's video or whatever I have open in Chrome to my headphones and to you guys. But you can be sitting right beside me and not hear anything. That's why I wear headphones. That's why you never hear a fucking echo. But Phil can't make it happen. Can't do it.
To give you a dissertation of what the Mississippi bubble is without that quick 3-minute video. Very frustrating. And if my Rumble execs are watching this, that is a huge, huge, huge thing you are missing on Rumble Studio. It makes me look really stupid when I'm live, when something that's supposed to work doesn't work. And I really don't appreciate that. And honestly, unless these errors could be fixed, then I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be able to use this platform, because other platforms exist that offer me the opportunity to be able to do what I need to do. And when you offer it and it doesn't work, that pisses me off. So I'm not very happy right now. So we're gonna skip that video, guys.
He just doesn't know how to do it. How many people use Rumble Studio and they can play videos? How many people use fucking Rumble Studio? Let's do this. And it plays sound. But he can't get it to work. Imagine. Imagine. Allow camera access. Allow. Allow permission to access microphone. Allow. What do I want my camera to be? OBS camera. Start my virtual camera. I see what he's not doing. So I would basically have to set my microphone to wavelength stream. Next. It's not that hard, Phil. I'm going through it right now. Next. Jesus, he can't figure out how to route his audio. Okay, I was just checking to make sure it wasn't something crazy. He's threatening to leave Rumble now. Rumble executives.
I'm very sorry about that, but there's not much I can do. This is not an error on my part. I have all the settings properly fixed.
I'll be right back.
And it will not work. Okay. So let me just make sure I'm still talking over here. And it will not work. Okay, we're good. So I apologize for that. We're going to leave off the video and we're going to hop right into the presentation. Okay. Let me pull that up real quick. You guys don't hear music, right? No one hears music? Let me check.
Wait. When I got up, I thought I heard him say this is not an error on my part. Let me hear that again. Edward Snowden, everybody.
Let me pull that up real quick. We're going to hop right into the presentation. Okay? Work. All right, we're good. So I apologize for that. We're going to leave off the video. And we're going to hop right still talking over here. And it will not work. But there's not much I can do. This is not an error on my part. I have all the settings properly fixed, and it will not work.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have the audio. So first of all, that microphone will never, and no microphone will ever pick up your speakers well. You need to route your audio to your speakers for you and directly to whatever your sound input is, your microphone on Rumble Studio. You're going to have to create a virtual audio output that has your microphone as well as the sound that you're routing from whatever browser you're using as your microphone.
Okay.
He needs somebody to set up a stream for him. Fly me out, okay? I charge about $15K per hour, and we'll get it going. You'll never have a problem again. I'll be on call.
So let me just make sure I'm still talking over here, and it will not work. All right, we're good. So I apologize for that. We're going to leave off the video. We're going to hop right into the presentation. Okay.
I'm out of here, Rumble executives. Tired of it.
You guys don't hear music, right? Okay, no one hears music. All right, good. This is insane.
Now you can't even play music.
I'm seeing what you're supposed to be seeing. Okay, we're going to make that a little bigger. No, it's good. Now, again, learn about it. It's, we're going to video back and so the way theory of sorts. And I know a lot of you believe in flat earth like I do, but you have to understand the intricacies of what was happening back in the 1700s and the 1800s. Our magnetic north, our magnetic pole was rotating. And as our magnetic pole rotates, so rotates the sun that rotates around the magnetic pole. So as this magnetic pole finds its way in a clock-like motion around our flat plane, the sun and the moon go with it. And as the sun and the moon go with that magnetic point, so goes day and night, so goes heat versus cold, so goes light versus dark. So right around this time period in the 1700s, what happened was the magnetic pole started to rotate and new
I don't believe that.
Started to open up. And some of those lands were North America, where the United States is now. Now, over across the pond in Europe, France was the
So North America was not available at all to go to until the 1700s? North America was not available because the sun didn't go over there yet in the 1700s. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. I bet you didn't know this, but he beat the sun and moon too. I've always heard that my whole life. I had no idea what it meant.
The dominant country over there at the time. They had a vast empire that stretched, quite a ways. People
if you come and work at my voting station in California, I'll scan your ballot twice.
In Europe, we're trying to find a way to get over to the new lands that just became available because of this rotational aspect. Let me just make sure I'm speaking. Let me test my audio over here. Over to the new land, working fine. People were trying to figure out a way to get over to this North American continent that wasn't inhabited yet. Right? There were just a few leftovers, people that found their way there that survived, and France was kind of on the cusp of that. I mean, it's defaulting, and I paid itself. It's all because the stat black settler surgeon, the Mississippi bubble in school, a name group I made to turn to. He was their guy. He's dead. Now they're starting to default on debts. Gold and silver start going through the roof. People of the country are panicking. Let's move on. Enter this man. A name that you probably never heard before. Why is that? Why did they never teach you this stuff? Why did
I learned about John Law.
Keep asking yourself that question as we go. Keep asking yourself why you never heard of this before. Why did you have to tune into a podcast in 2024 to hear about the Mississippi bubble and John Law? Why did they leave that out of our history books? Keep asking yourself that as this goes on. Back then, when you get into a duel, this fight to keep their nation alive, and they won that fight. But it's in the 1800s, but permission to take on. Ladies and gentlemen, I get John Law easy and we get.
There's his currency.
The company had issued more than 600 shares. United Price to agree to do 600,000
livras, and that is not a livra. That is, you idiot.
The word million of them is 17. My God, that. You want your gold back, don't you? Piece of paper that's so that's.
I didn't know he did a whole thing on this, so he just watched it and made fun of it instead of me giving you what I had off the top of my head.
He started times 5, times 10, times 20, times 50. He just started printing money. Beavers. He's back to you. We got our. He lived, right? Guys, and then went to become better. But I got to tell the whole, whatever. That wasn't great. Right on now. I look back at it. So, I don't know. Get along. Get bank. There's nothing in it at all. I just opened it live. So, there's not, I don't drink. I'm not, this is normal. This is how I act. What happens if I see it at all? I insulted you and said that. He didn't say that though. I didn't. That's weird. This is just iced tea. It's iced tea lemonade. There's nothing in it at all. I just opened it live. So, you know, there's not, I don't drink. I'm not, this is normal. This is how I act. What happens? Here's the quiz. Solve it.
Did he steal this from a teacher? Why are there quizzes in it?
What happens to your mortgage or any of your loans? Because this has only happened one other time, way back in the 7th back. Read your debt contract under the bubble saga with John Locke, where you refer back to it. The earth, it's chilling. You were lended. And for any of those things, or if the currency company, if that currency goes to zero, they see, or a dozen eggs cost like $12 or whatever. You have them go to hire a leprechaun to come in to run around with a sign, and their bill is like $2,100 for like 30 seconds of work. You mad? Everybody's mad, right? You mad? Guess what? The white hats have a plan.
Okay.
And part of the plan is to crash the United States dollar, the fiat currency we know as the dollar. And if that currency were to crash, all of the debt will be canceled for anyone that owes any dollars to anywhere. Now, if you owe me $20 and we did that on a handshake, we don't have a debt contract. I want my money, keep my $20. You're still gonna owe like private people, that kind of stuff. But if you have an actual written contract, or a mortgage, or with a car note, or whatever, any kind of note, there is only so much. It's so brilliant. They're so freaking smart. There's only so much dollars that could go out. And as
there's not a lot. Wait. There's not a lot of problems with electric vehicles. There are some problems that you see on social media, but you know there's orders of magnitude more problems with regular vehicles, right?
you see these prices rising, you are seeing the systematic, strategic, military-like takedown of the United States dollar. And as that dollar loses and loses and loses its value, eventually it's going to go poof.
There was runaway Camrys for like 5 years and airbags that fucking blew a 12-gauge shotgun right into your fucking face. Come on.
And when it does, there's your debt forgiveness. And oh, by the way, I'm sorry. I didn't forget. I just wanted to make it seem like I did, because that's a fact. Oh, by the way, if the same institution that issues the dollar, Federal Reserve, if that same institution is also the same institution that collects your taxes and accepts the dollar, well, you can't pay them back either. If the dollar is worthless, your contract with them is...
Have you guys ever heard this video?
When I was getting up to the car, when I saw him, I could smell the brakes. I saw his brake lights coming on.
He's moving. 61 10-4. Are you trying to do everything you can?
The
accelerator is stuck. That's still at full acceleration.
So then my next idea was, okay, I need to get up alongside him, use my public address system, and try to talk to him.
I was standing on the pedals. I was standing on the brake pedal, looking out the window at him.
I don't even think this is it.
And they said, push the...
Where's the guy that died? It's called Toyota's 20... Here it is. $2.3 billion mistake.
On August 28th, 2009, Mark Saylor was going 120 miles an hour in a loaner car from a Toyota dealership. In the car with him was his wife, daughter, and brother-in-law. Now, this brother-in-law called 911 while in the car, and I have to warn you, what you're about to hear is horrific.
911 emergency, what are you reporting? I'm sorry?
Accelerator stuck. We're going 120, Mission Gorge.
Mark was trying to brake, but the car wasn't slowing
actual
down.
video of it.
We're in trouble. We can't. There's no brake.
Okay.
In freeway half mile.
The freeway was ending, and they were approaching an intersection with stopped vehicles.
We're approaching the intersection.
Okay.
We're approaching the intersection. Hold on. Pray. Okay. Oh, shoot. Oh.
Okay. Hello?
That was just a regular fucking Toyota.
To avoid hitting other vehicles.
120 miles an hour. The accelerator was stuck on. They couldn't turn the car off. They couldn't stop. They, instead of getting hard on their brakes or trying to force it in neutral, they rode their brakes until they burn up. 120 miles an hour into he did try to dodge traffic, right? He didn't try to go through the intersection that was in. It was like a four-way intersection where the freeway was ending. He did try to dodge traffic, but this is what was left of the car.
Mark drove the car off into a ravine. All 4 passengers were instantly killed.
Not a single electric car here.
The recording of the 911 call went viral.
And this was thousands of cars that were doing this straight from Toyota.
Everyone,
like we hear about electric cars because they're the new thing, and it's cool to shit on electric cars. Like, oh my God, this Tesla burned on fire. Yeah, so do fucking Jeep Cherokees. Like, so.
Especially the relatives of the family blamed.
You got one Tesla that did this, and one fucking Rivian that did that, and one that did this, but no one's talking about the thousands of other cars that do this other shit. Everybody died, yeah.
Call lasted just 17 seconds.
The mounting troubles at Toyota.
Toyota has a problem.
And pretty soon, more and more reports came in.
Thousands of complaints from consumers that report very consistent types of problems across a number of years, makes, and models.
The car.
Anyways, if you want to see the rest of this, I can't just play his video, but if you want to see the rest of this, here you go. I had a brand new Mustang. A brand new Mustang. It was called like California Special or California King or something, that I was doing I forget what we called them. When I worked at the Ford place, we get new cars in, we had to remove all the packaging and like the door ding protectors and stuff, and we had to go test drive them. I had a brand new one. It was fucking badass. It caught on fire on the interstate when I was doing the interstate. We had like this route we did where we went through like our little town twice. Then we got on an exit, went 2 miles up, got off the exit, stopped, checked everything out, got back on the exit, come 2 miles down to our exit, and went back to the Ford place and get it checked into inventory. And when I was on the interstate, the motherfucker, I just started seeing smoke coming up from underneath the hood. I thought it was overheating because it seemed extremely white. I didn't smell anything. As soon as I popped the hood, boom, boom, flames everywhere. I wouldn't have popped the hood if I'd known there was a fire. I just thought it was overheating. Boom, flames everywhere. The whole fucking thing burnt to the ground before the fire department could even get there.
Just lurched.
All right, back to the end of Phil.
Canceled 2. You know how you're supposed to pay taxes and supposed to be voluntary? Well, forget about all that. If the currency in the unit that you use to pay those.
Yeah, it does, I didn't say they're just catching on fire. It's cool to shit on electric vehicles. How many times? Okay, if you see an electric vehicle and you're like, oh my God, something's wrong with these electric vehicles. How many times do you go and say, is there anything wrong with gas vehicles this month? Because there is. Millions of them.
Taxes no longer exists. Then the debt contract that you had to do so.
I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with vehicles. There's obviously something wrong with all vehicles at all times. It's just the only ones that get attention on social media are electric vehicles because it's cool to shoot on electric vehicles right now.
Nope. It's no longer valid. So everybody's been asking and thinking, how are they going to institute NESARA? Trump's not even in office, and Biden's not going to announce it. And look what happened last time. Bill Clinton signed NESARA into law. We had 9/11. They took all the gold under Building 7. Building 7, the demolition of the towers, and no planes, and all that happened because NESARA was signed into law. So do you really think that the White Hats? Oh, by the way, it's the Intel Park. There was a leprechaun. There he goes. He's so small you can't see him. $2,500. He just let me a bill. Give me some time to pay that bill because it's in dollars. So we don't have to pay it. We don't have to worry about another bill.
What to pay in your bills.
Essentially being vetoed by the president, even if it passes through both houses, both the Senate and the House of Representatives. We don't have to worry about another bill going through like it did last time and then getting to the desk of the president. And then, well, by the time it passes through so many houses, like the NESARA bill did, what are the chances that maybe somebody gets wind of that from the cabal and orchestrates another 9/11 type event and just stops everything, just like last time? Now, I've been saying for a long time that the cabal doesn't have the power that they used to have, and that's true. They don't. But is it a possible scenario that something like that does happen? Sure it is.
Sure.
So why even risk it?
Another 9/11.
Why don't we just crash the damn dollar? Why don't we crash it? You know how you help? Okay, now here's the thing.
All of them humans build them. There was a really interesting thing when the car industry was collapsing. There was this undercover reporter that went to like a Dearborn Ford plant or whatever, and they were like fucking smoking weed. They were going on their breaks to a local park and like smoking weed and like chugging whiskey, and it was just crazy.
Point where I and we, the White Hats, need your help. We need your help. Let's refer back to the Mississippi bubble. What happened when people started taking their stock in the Mississippi Company? Remember, Mississippi Company was the monopoly company that had a pathway to the West. What happened when those stockholders in the Mississippi Company went back to Bank General and said, hey, I don't want this anymore. I want my gold. Give it to me. What happened when people ran the banks? What happened when people took their stock?
He would say anything for money.
Stock that they owned, and they said, I don't want this shit anymore. Give me my metal. All within a couple year period. Went from 1717 to early 2020. John Moss, William back to London, begging for a pardon for his duel. He killed the dude. Got the pardon too, by the way. Weird. But do you have money in the stock market? Don't tell me no. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You have money in the stock market. In fact, you have dollars. Okay, but let's not talk about the dollars for a minute. You have money in the Mississippi Company. Right now, it's not called the Mississippi Company, it's called Wall Street. Do you know where that money,
Oh, okay.
What that money is?
Makes
it's
sense.
your damn retirement account. It's your 401k, your IRA, your 403b. It's all of that. So you put that money into those accounts, and those accounts get invested in the stock market, in the Mississippi Company. Tell them you want it back. Go tell them, I want my money in gold and silver. I don't want my money in this fiat currency anymore or ever again. I want gold and silver. And I'm only going to keep out this little bitty tiny amount so I could buy stuff with.
Okay.
Why do you have all of that money in retirement? Don't do it. In fact, I've given you an option to get the hell out of there. Have I not? With goldquiz.com? You could go to Gold Quiz, spend 30 seconds on the quiz, have an appointment tomorrow. Not Monday, because it's Friday.
He used to tell him you'd get dollar for dollar on the Nasera after the revaluation or whatever. Now he's wants more of your money, so he's saying that's not even good anymore either.
Monday,
This is why people freaked out on him.
Mississippi Company, aka the stock market, and put it in the gold and silver. That accelerates the fall of the dollar. Each and every one of you could contribute to this. You have savings. You have savings. Gold Quiz can help you with savings too. You got a lot of savings, hundreds of thousands of dollars just sitting around from inheritance or whatever. Go to goldquiz.com. They'll send you the money. They'll send you the gold right to your door if you want, or the silver. As we talked about, silver has a much higher upside than gold just because of the times that we're in and the manipulation that's taking place. Back in the day, back in the 1700s when John Law was,
Mariah's model of, thankfully not hers, I already had it checked out, but Mariah's model of Explorer, the 2017 and the 2019 Explorer, had an exhaust leak where a bolt breaks and there's an exhaust leak that is introduced into the cabin air filter, and a bunch of fucking cops and people, because cops drive Explorers too, a bunch of people were just fucking dying in their car while I was sitting and idling. Like with the windows up and air conditioner on and shit, it was pulling in exhaust gas. They were just dying.
Ripping everybody off. Gold was the primary back then because they didn't lie about the value back then. The scumbags that are in control now kind of corrected that based on what happened in the 1700s. Probably the same people. How many doing tonight? We have, shit, I lost it. Hold on.
That's true. Owning equity in a company is not, it's represented by a dollar amount, but you actually own a portion of that company.
Oh, no, still here. I have 37 million right now. I've been hovering between like 30 and 40. The other night we had over 40 for the first time, which is kind of cool. But anyway, any kind of dollars you have, yeah, keep it out for now to pay your bills. Whatever your bills may be, your regular bills. Now, obviously, if you're living paycheck to paycheck with no retirement account, no big, money in the bank or anything like that, then this doesn't apply to you. But if you're one of the ones that are out there that still have your retirement in John Law's Mississippi Company, what the hell are you doing? I mean, the writing is on the wall. Is it not? Do you not want to do as much as you could possibly do to accelerate the crash of the dollar? I would. I do. I'll do everything in my power. That's why I set up these systems, these companies to begin with. The more silver and gold you own, the quicker Nasera comes. That's a fact. The dollar has to collapse and collapse fully before you're looking at Nasera Jacera. Because it's just not going to pass into a Congress in any country. It's not going to happen. Not without risk to the public. So we need that dollar to crash. So you're damn right. We're going to print money and we're going to send it to Ukraine. Every little bit that goes out, every one of those bills that you just cringe over. We can't send money to Lahaina in Maui, but we can send it to Ukraine in massive amounts. What's going on here? What's wrong with these people? Well, did you ever for a second think that the people that are doing it are actually doing it for our benefit? I know that sounds counterproductive. Well, we're sending our money over to a foreign country in the tune of billions and billions and billions of dollars, right? Well, maybe they're a little bit smarter than we are. Maybe they kind of know something that we don't know. Maybe. Maybe they're trying to accelerate this process to get us to that point. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how Nasera is going to happen. This is the path to Nasera. It's laid out right in front of us. We each have a job to do, and that job is to get your money out of this failing currency. And when you get, I should say your wealth, get your wealth out of this currency and put it into gold and silver. Why do you think the industry experts are all screaming, gold and silver, gold and silver? Some of them are begging you. Robert Kiyosaki, he doesn't even have an affiliate program like I do. He's just pleading to get money out of the dollar and into metal. Because he knows if you do that, the dollar crashes and all of us are better off. Every single one of you could help. Every single one of you. And again, if you're in a situation where you're paycheck to paycheck or low,
crash the dollar. That's going to help us all.
Low income, I can help you too. I offered a solution in last night's live where you can join my X-Patches system. Links down below in the description, and I'll help you get out of that situation in the short term too. Now,
why does he keep telling people that crashing the dollar will help us? If silver's worth $25 an ounce, and let's say you have 100 ounces, milk goes up to $500 a gallon. Does that help you?
Let's talk about one more thing before I end the live. I don't think anyone, honestly, anybody, I don't think a single person here, when you think of Nasera, I don't think you think 3 steps down the road. I refer to this as the 10-step thought process, okay?
I refer to this as my own patented Edward Snowden 10-step thought process.
My ex-wife, who I loved for very, very many years, was very bad at this. I, as a person, was very akin to being able to identifying a certain process or a certain topic and relating it to a 10-step process, right? So whatever with buying a house, buying a car, your work day, what do you do throughout the day today? I broke it down into 10 steps. She wasn't able to do that. In fact, and it's not just her.
Yeah, if that's what you believe, but there's no guarantee that silver would go up exponentially. It just doesn't say that, right? Silver may not go up because nobody has any money to buy silver.
Literally millions of people, and I bet you're included. When it comes to
What if the dollar goes into free fall and so does silver and gold?
or anyway, maybe not with everything.
Because nobody can afford to buy it.
My ex knew
Supply
that
and
there was an
demand.
initial step. It's obvious. Everybody knows there's an initial step, right? Who doesn't? So you know there's step one. You're aware that after step one, there must be another step. It's not just bing, bang, boom, and you're done, right? Is Gold Co an affiliate to Gold Quiz? Yes, but you need to go through Gold Quiz to get to Gold Co because I have several there that could help you. I partner with the industry-leading experts on Gold Quiz. So there's a bunch.
No, he doesn't. He has 2. You can only get 2. There's only 2. Phil Silver and Gold Co. That's it.
But anyway, after you make step one, you're aware that there's a step 2. There must be. It can't be bing, bang, boom, and done, right? But she had no idea that step 3 was even possible. She didn't even know that it was there. But then after step 2, she found herself making a 3rd step. Here's the problem. There's 7 more steps. And now you're flabbergasted. You thought, you knew there was 2. You had no idea about the 3rd. And then the other 7, you're in trouble. You're just totally unprepared for the situation. And that's how I feel a lot of you are with Nsara. So let me explain what I mean by that. Nsara happens. The dollar crashes. Your debts are canceled. Taxes are canceled. Anything that has to do with the dollar is canceled. It's over with. Then what? What about your kids? Okay, their debt's canceled. What about your grandkids? They don't have that yet, right? Or they're still young enough, or they didn't benefit too much from the Nsara type thing. Are you looking out for yourself, or are you building up your family's future forever? Do you want your grandkids or your great-grandkids or their kids to be in the same position that you were in for the last 50 years of your life or more? Do you want to create generational wealth and generational happiness and generational peace by making changes that you could make right now, but you don't because you're just sitting there waiting for Nsara to help you? I think that's selfish. I think that's very selfish. And if you are sitting there waiting for Nsara for you, fine. What about your legacy? What about your future generations? Is it just all about Nsara and give you some money right now and I don't got to pay this anymore and now I own this? Is that all it is? Or is that step 2? Maybe you're looking at step 3, maybe. What about the 7 other steps? Are we not even concerned about them? Do we not even recognize this is a 10-step process? What about post Nsara? Nsara comes, everybody's happy, debt's gone. What about 5 generations after you that are going to exist when you're long dead and gone in heaven? You be looking down and watching them struggle because they made bad decisions because you had an opportunity to set something up for them but you didn't take it because you were sitting around waiting for Nsara? Is that right? Why not put them in a position now for success in the next 50 years, in the next 100 years, in the next 200 years? Can't we do that?
He's always given financial advice.
That's why I had last night's live. And I saw, we were talking about last night, we were talking about how employment's going to change for future generations and even our short-term employment is going to change. And I saw the numbers. When I started talking about expatches, the numbers just dropped. What are we? What are we doing? Is that what?
That's when he told everybody, you got to get expatches. That's the only company that's going to exist.
Is that what it is? We're just concerned about ourselves? Isn't that the problem? Isn't that the reason that got us into this problem to begin with? We were just looking out for ourselves the whole time. We didn't think 10 steps down the road. I mean, if that's how you want to think, that's your prerogative. No one's going to stop you.
So you're going to lose. If you have enough money to invest with Phil and you don't, you'll lose it all. And the only job you'll be allowed to have is a patch salesman in his MLM. But if you just live in paycheck to paycheck and shit, don't worry about it. You'll be fine.
You're thinking that way. Okay. Lit up. Just like the French. The French took those 50 million livres from John Law, and they're like, wait, you're going to give us 50 million, and you're going to take over the taxes, and you're going to take all of our debt? Whoa, we're going out tonight. You're getting a tomahawk steaks. They drank it up, drinking wine, popping them down, taking shots, snorting coke. If there even was coke back then, who knows what they did? Maybe they just, who knows? Is that you? What happened a few years later, though, to those same French government officials? Ooh, bottom fell out on them, huh? They had a problem for the next 200 years, still have a problem. Who do we want to be? Do we want to be the French government? Or do we want to be the people who recognize that a problem exists to begin with and put ourselves on a path to make sure that that problem is never even sniffs our family? Is that you? Do you want generational wealth, or do you want just a debt jubilee? And then that's it. 1 or 2 generations, yeah, maybe you and your kids are going to be great. What about your grandkids? What about their kids? What about their kids? What about their kids? Because that's where my mind goes. I look at my youngest, my 7-year-old, and I fast forward. Okay, he's going to be living until he's maybe in his 70s if all goes well, right? So, or if you're a Rothschild, maybe he'll live to 700. But I look at my 7-year-old.
You're 7. He's only going to make it to his 70s with med technology and the fact that each generation, with the modern medical advances, we're living longer and longer. Why would your kid only make it to 70?
Okay, 70 years from now, do I have this kid? Do I, as I sit here 40 years old, do I have this kid prepared for his 70s financially? And then when he's 70, he's going to have grandkids, which means they're going to be my great-great-grandkids. I mean, dead, gone. But he's going to have kids and grandkids. What do their lives look like? How does Nsara in 2024 affect Preston, who's now 77 years old, in the year 2090 something? What does his kids' family look like? And what do the grandkids look like? If he's 70, let's say his kids are in their 50s and the grandkids are now in their 20s.
He doesn't know what 2024 plus 70 is, but he does gematria in his head. It'll be like 2090 something. It'll be 2094. You're just adding 7 to the 2.
Right? Do I have them set up?
It'll be 20. When it's 70 years from now, that'd be like 2090 something.
Is it in my power to even do that? Is it in my power? Is it in yours? Do you care? If you don't care, then don't worry about it. No one's watching. No one can even read your thoughts. No one cares. No one knows if you care. Only you do. I don't know if you care. I'll never know if you care. So I'm not calling you out because it's not known to me anyway. I don't know. Maybe you care, maybe you don't care. But I think you should care. I think it's important that you care. And that's why I had the live last night. So all the numbers that were
underwear.
I was like, oh, he's just doing another MLM thing, and only the people at the top make money. Oh yeah. Tell that to the people that enrolled 3 months ago and are making 10 grand a week. Are they at the top? Nope. In fact, they were at the bottom. They joined 6 months later, and 3 months after that, they're making 10 grand a week. Why? Because they listen. They listen. They do the things that they have to do. At 10 grand a week, when the Sarah hits, they're ahead. That 10 grand could be invested in something else. A week, $500,000 a year. That could be invested in something else, like gold or silver, to set up the future of their kids, their grandkids, and their great grandkids, and generations beyond, if they're taught the right way.
Show us how many people you got making 10 grand a week and how many people they got below them.
That's what I'm after. DJT will not let us suffer. Oh, yeah? You don't think so? You don't think so? You think
Donald Trump will not let us suffer. You don't think so? You don't think he's going to make you suffer?
That everything is in Donald Trump's hands and that he's not going to let you suffer, even if you're naive and ignorant to the solution? You're wrong, bro.
That's your plan. That's your plan, is this great financial reset, this great reawakening, and a utopia. That's your all's plan, Phil. But Donald Trump's going to let you suffer because you didn't invest in patches. You didn't become a door-to-door patch salesman, the only job left on Earth.
You are wrong. If there's a solution and an action that you must take to get to a better outcome for yourself and for your family, and you sit there and don't take the action because you think someone's going to take the action for you, you're wrong.
Trump says patches 2024.
I don't know what else to tell you. You're wrong. That's wrong. That's terrible business thinking. It's terrible commonsensical thinking. And it's just awful.
Commonsensical?
Logic overall. Awful. So you could sit there and say, oh, well, Donald's got me. Donald's got me when he gets back in office. Everything's going to be fine.
That's your plan. That's what you guys have been saying for years. If we could just get him back in here, man. Gas would be free. Blow jobs on every corner. STDs eliminated. Everybody's fucking bareback. Plan B in the chemtrails. No babies. Whatever. You guys have been saying everything's going to be perfect. I'm sorry I described my perfect world, but you know what I mean.
How was it when he was in office from 2016 to 2020? Were you rich? Or were you just less poor? Hey, listen, I'm asking the tough questions, okay? I'm not here to be glitz and glam and unicorn and rainbow guy.
The tough questions. Where were you? Where were you in the patch apocalypse? The tough questions. But Daddy, did you fight on the good side of the patches war of 2024? No, son. I was just a bystander. And my back still hurts.
Were you rich in 2016 and 2020? Or were you just slightly better off than you are now? What did he save you back then? Did Donald come and save you?
Give me patches or give me poverty. I'm going to make some merch. The patch apocalypse. Give me patches or give me poverty.
What makes you think he's going to save you now? The writing's on the wall. This guy's endorsing affiliate marketing for gold and silver. He is not saying a word to let the dollar crash. Not a word. He's just letting it happen. You don't think Donald Trump wants the dollar to crash? Because if the dollar does crash, he could then introduce a new currency that's not backed by the cabal. No more Federal Reserve, no more IRS. He can introduce a completely new program if the dollar crashes.
Someone said that in chat, like you shouldn't hand everything. You don't want your kids to learn to make their own way. No, ill-intended. Just confused. Kids today are handed everything. That's what's wrong with Gen Xers.
You don't think that's what he wants? You don't think?
I don't know if she knows what Gen Xers are. Look, you can be all tough as you want, but the fact that you could work that 60, 50, 60, 70 years ago, you could work 40 hours a week, have a mortgage on a decent 4-bedroom house, and buy a fucking Cadillac and still put money in savings. You can't do that anymore. It's different. It's not as easy. For any of us, you don't have to have like this, well, I made it. It's not as easy for you either in your retirement age. You guys see how expensive shit is, right? You guys see how you're not making enough on Social Security or retirement or whatever, and everybody's struggling, and the price of housing is just skyrocketing. Like, I don't know why when people are like, man, it fucking sucks now. Like, we can't afford shit. Like, working a job at a factory, you can't ever afford to buy a fucking house ever, much less a house and a car. I don't know why people come out of the woodwork and like, it wasn't easy in my day either. It was easier. It was easier. You're suffering through it too, unless you're dad, and you can't be dad and complaining. I don't know why the fucking boomers come out. They're like, they're just bitching. No, it's hard for all of us right now. The price of everything has skyrocketed, and housing is just fucking insane. We were literally looking for a house when we tried to buy our house, and we couldn't buy our house because the guy was just being a dick about it. He told me he'd sell it to me and refused to sell it to me, whatever. I actually took a big-ass loss for a different reason. But anyways, we were looking for a house somewhere between $160,000 and $180,000. That's what we were looking for. That was our market. And we went and looked at probably 10 or so. And in the span of that week, because we were in a hurry, we were losing our house, we had to move. We were in a hurry trying to find something. And in the span of a week, the shit went up 60, 70, 80,000. Everything in our price range went well above 250 in the span of a fucking week. Dude, shit is rough for everybody, including you if you're still living. So there's no sense in being like, well, it was just as bad in mine. You guys got it easy with your cellular telephones. Shut the fuck up. It's not. Look at all the studies that compare income to cost of living now. It wasn't. You're just old and want to be right, I guess.
I think Trump wants the dollar to crash, just like John Law's paper currency crashed. Because if the dollar crashes, he could come in and change the course of history for everybody. Do you think he cares if you have $200,000 in a 401k or an IRA and you lose it all because of the crash? He is going to do.
By the way, it's really cheap where I live at too. Like a $160,000, $180,000 house was like a nice, good to go house. Like I didn't have to do improvements, didn't need to be remodeled or whatever. Like before, a $250,000 house was like a really nice high end house. You could buy a house on a golf course for like $250 to $300. Now, right now, the houses that don't need work and you can just move in, 3-bedroom, like we need for our family, one for me and Mariah, one for both the boys, 2 baths or whatever, start at like $300,000. It's insane.
What's best for all of humanity for hundreds of years to come, not what's best for your $200,000 IRA or 401k. I'm sorry. If you think that way, you are nothing but wrong. And if you're comfortable in being wrong, stay right there. But those of you who are buying into what I'm saying, I have options for you.
I'm going to end up having to buy a fixer-upper, and what sucks about it whenever we do move, or a piece of land and build my own, and what sucks about it is the VA home loan is not made for, that's the one I'm guaranteed as long as I have a minimum credit score for whatever the bank requires. It's not made for fixer-uppers. Like you can't buy a house that needs work. But I can't afford a fucking $3,000 a month payment either.
Xpatch's link is down below in this video. That will help you get out of the debt that you're in. That will help you earn future generational perpetual wealth for you and future generations. If you just want to sit and wait, sit and wait.
And I work 2 jobs 7 days a week. I work every day doing maintenance at the campground. I very rarely get 40 hours. That's true. It's usually between 30 and 40 hours. And then I come here and stream for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours a night. And Mariah works too.
Everybody, your life will be fine. But I'm looking out for my kids, and my kids' grandkids. And if you're with me,
my house, I paid $225 for it in 2012, and it's on the market for $700,000. I mean, that's good for you, but that is insane.
I'm here, and I'm going to show you everything that I'm doing, and you could mimic and emulate everything that I'm doing too. You know, in 2021.
Yeah, I can't even use the benefits I earned to the VA for a house. The VA wants it move-in ready, needs no work, no issues, no nothing. Like, it might need paint or something like that, or it might have wood paneling and you want, drywall. But, like, it cannot be like a fixer-upper, like, we got to do a little bit to the roof and we got to patch, the floor, or do some new flooring or something. You can't have that. It has to be inspected and ready to go. That way, if you default on it for some reason, they're ready to sell it. They don't need a handyman to come in and fix 20 things before they can sell it.
In early 2021, I had a defamatory article written about me that essentially called me a pedophile, even though I've never been convicted of a sexual crime whatsoever. In fact, I've been charged with those crimes and I beat them. So somebody wrote an article about me, and 2 days later, I lost my 17-year career in real estate because of that article. One day after I lost my career and I was fired from my job, my wife left me and took my kids away from me for a year. Exactly 3 months after that, I went to jail for 30 days. And while I was in jail, I barely...
Who made those decisions? Who got the article written about you? Who had a divorce with their wife, lost custody, and who bounced those checks? Was that me?
We had enough money to keep the lights on in my house. I had to do a fundraiser from jail just to have enough when I got out to survive. That was in 2021. That was a tough year. But I look back and it was 3 years ago. And not to brag, but I'm worth somewhere between $50 and $75 million today. Do you think it's not possible? I got news for you. Everything's possible. Anything's possible. And if it is possible, I'm going to do it. And if you want to walk behind me and watch how I do it and do the same things that I do, come walk behind me. Join me. Watch me. learn, implement, have confidence, have the bravado to sit there and be like, you know what I went through in this life, I'm not going to allow my next generations to go through it. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. The Sarah's coming. Continue your efforts to try to squash the dollar, run those damn banks, get your money.
I'm doing my best right now just to save cash to buy a piece of land. And what I'll do is pour a concrete pad, put up a metal building, and then put my camper in the garage of the metal building, and then slowly move out room by room as I do it. I want to do it all and like video it and put it up. But like, so we would live in the camper inside a metal building, a 4 bay metal building, 2 bays that are for the house and then 2 bays for a garage. And then like when we get the living room done, we would only sleep and use the bathroom in the camper. And then we put a bathroom in, a full bathroom, then we would only sleep in the camper. And then we build one, even if it takes 6 months, we build 1 bedroom at a time and everybody moves out of the camper. And then when that's done, I'm going to pull the camper out. But my first goal is just to save up enough money to buy a piece of land.
I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. The Sarah's coming. Continue your efforts to try to squash the dollar, run those damn banks, get your money out of your retirement account, put it into gold, put it into silver, use goldquiz.com, use philsilver.com, use my expatch system.
That's right, spit,
earn income now instead of waiting for income to come. Earn it now so you could build.
Yeah, there's like trailers, like legit double wides. They're really nice double wides, but they're like $200,000. Like it's a double wide.
Generational wealth. All the links are down below in my description. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you Sunday.
I'm talking about building a house over like 5 or 10 years. You know, it's like I can't afford to do that within 6 months. I'm talking about building it over time, and whatever is the most pressing issue. Like I think the first thing to do would be get a kitchen and living room going. And then basically we would just be a kitchen, living room, and a downstairs bathroom. And then basically we'd just be sleeping in the camper. And then we can design the rooms as we go, right? Like this room, get Liam a room, get him his own space because he's becoming a teenager. He moves out, and then it'd just be me, Mariah, and Ollie. And then build Ollie a room, and then me and Mariah can do a master bedroom over however long it takes. And then when it's all done, I just pull the camper back out and set it up for like an extra housing space for like family members or whatever, or get rid of it, sell it.
Night. Don't know what time yet.
Hell, crush it. Who knows?
Probably going to be around 7 o'clock on Sunday. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in a couple days.
Fill it full of my silver stacking. Phil's pissing off his audience. So, according to Phil, you're going to lose everything. You're going to be poor. You're going to be broke. Donald Trump is going to watch you fucking suffer. And the only job that'll be left is a patch salesman. I hope you guys are prepared for the great financial reset where X39 patches and their corporate conglomerate run the world. Thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you want to contribute to the show, please consider going to coldbeer.fund. That's how we pay for everything around here. Between that and the jobs I work and shit, Patreon. Go to coldbeer.fund. Find a way to contribute to the show if you'd like to. If not, thank you for joining us anyways. We actually covered 2 of Phil's videos tonight, so I've still got the, we'll probably do got Patreon tomorrow. We'll probably do a dramatic reading one day this week from all the screenshots Mariah sent me about these 2 videos and how upset people are. I just can't do 7 days a week right now. First of all, I need to make some more money and save it. And times are tough for everybody. I know donations and shit like that aren't the best model to be in right now. So I'm probably going to work more hours at work. Plus, I would like to do some other content around the other channel. So,
Paulers_0627 just subscribed.
Thank you for the resubscription or for the subscription. But I'm not going to be doing 7 days a week. As soon as I can plan that out and facilitate it, I'm going to have to take probably 1 day a week to just work more hours, and then another day a week or maybe 2 to work on a different channel. But if you're a Patreon member, you'll still get a lot of me. But other than that, I'll probably be in and out and different days and stuff going on, shorter streams maybe. But I'll let you guys know. Thank you all for joining us. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the support. Consider going to coldbeer.fund and support us while we're offline. And we'll see you on the next one. Have a good night. Love you. See you. Bye.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the forking balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the forking balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believer? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like fool in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in them bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen nothing yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in them bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen nothing yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Opened his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine, with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Whoa, wait. Stop. What? I'll get my files. Wait, what are you doing? Stop. Hold on. Fucking stop. Dude, come on. Seriously. This is Arm's an alcoholic. Give me a... Oh, my God. Damn it. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Piss them off. It's about to get lit. Get the place in them bets. You know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen nothing yet. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Piss them off.
See you guys on the next one.
Get the place in them bets. You know that stage